Show news that students must refrain from any form of malpractice to ensure a smooth and credible exam process.
Director General also says big congratulations to our teachers and then our parents who have been very, very supportive stakeholders in our endeavor to prepare our learners and students for this examination. And so for us as Ghana Education Service, we trust so well in our teachers, we trust so well in our students, and we know that sufficient preparations have been made from their end. From the end of management, we have prepared very well in collaboration with WAEC. We have made sure that all the questions are ready and have been sent to the various centers. We have also collaborated with the security agencies to make sure that security is very strong. No student will feel insecure at any of the centers. We have also ensured, in fact, throughout last week, we did a nationwide sensitization exercise, engaging all stakeholders, parents, teachers, traditional leaders and authorities, various teacher unions and CSOs, and all security agencies and all who matter in the examination. We have done huge sensitization exercises, especially with regards to examination malpractices. As managers of the system, we believe in integrity. We believe that a C or an average mark scored in integrity is better than an excellent grade or an A scored dubiously. And so we are not just interested in the outcome of the examinations. We are also interested in how our students will conduct themselves, how our invigilators will conduct themselves.
Also, the Ghana AIDS Commission is reaffirming the importance of condom use as a key tool in the country's HIV prevention efforts. The Commission says condoms remain a low-cost, high-effective way of protecting individuals against HIV and other sexually transmitted infections and also unintended pregnancies. More in the following report.
Ghana AIDS Commission is reinforcing the role of condoms as a critical line of defense in the fight against HIV and other STIs. According to the Commission, condoms remain a low-cost but highly effective tool that protects against HIV, STIs, and unintended pregnancies while giving individuals greater control over their sexual health. The Commission emphasized that condoms and lubricants are a key part of both national and global HIV prevention strategies used by all groups within society, from the general public to vulnerable populations. Data, however, show that female sex workers record the highest usage. It also dismissed claims that these prevention tools are distributed only to specific groups, stressing that access is extended to the entire population. Providing condoms and lubricants to vulnerable communities, including men who have sex with men, the Commission explained is part of a globally recognized public health approach known as harm reduction, aimed at preventing infections and easing pressure on the healthcare system. The Commission further clarified that making these tools available is not about promoting behavior, but about safeguarding public health. The Commission is now calling on the public to support evidence-based HIV prevention efforts and help reduce stigma and misinformation through informed discussion.
Now away from HIV, a growing sense of disengagement among Ghanaian youth is raising concern about the country's future as leadership advocates warn that without deliberate efforts to inspire purpose and civic responsibility, national development could suffer. This came up at the Ghana Black Star Summit in Accra, organized by Lead Afrique here in Accra. Deborah Enimwa-Bedu has more in the following report.
Stakeholders noted that beyond economic challenges, attitudes such as poor time management and declining civic responsibility are also affecting productivity and national development. Programs Manager for Social Transformation Programs at Lead Afrique, Adele Irama Akwa, observed that development is not only dependent on policies and infrastructure, but also on the mindset and discipline of citizens, particularly the youth.
So some of the issues that we have identified, especially while running the Ghana Leadership Academy and working with youth, is there's a very widespread sense of apathy within the youth in Ghana. A lot of people just want to leave. Nobody's willing to put in the work. Nobody's willing to put in the sacrifice that our forefathers put in to bring us where we are currently. That's one of the issues I have. Now, with those that are even attempting to do something, a lot of them fall off the way because of lack of follow through. It gets hard. The system attacks them. The system shakes them a little bit and they give up. Media Mabre, I'm going to Jirapa.
Associate Programs Officer with Fix the Country Democracy Hub, Benjamin Akufo-Addo, identified practical measures young people can adapt to actively contribute to national development.
The only way I can see we the youth actually helping and pushing our agenda towards developing our state is to be active citizenships as citizens, that we have to be there. Write to your MP, challenge him or her on certain positions that he is taking on the floor of Parliament, seek for updates on his duties in Parliament and what he's done so far or contributed so far in Parliament.
Co-founder of Lead Afrique, Michael Emefa, indicated that the organization is partnering with government to outline policy-driven programs that will equip young people with the skills and opportunities needed to drive progress.
Today, and for this edition, this is the second edition, what we are doing is for them to think about the Ghana that they want. We brought all these young people together to co-create the Ghana that they want. Because 20 years from today, they will be at the helm of affairs. Now, how are we preparing them to be ready to take over when the baton of leadership is handed over to them? And so it's about co-creating Ghana, looking at all the various economic sectors, education, health, agribusiness, creative arts, sports, whatever. They are going to design that future Ghana and see where they can engage with the state and see where they can take opportunities.
The program, which was aimed at shaping the aspirations of citizens, also sought to push for leadership interventions and policies for young people. For Joy News, Deborah Enimwa Beidu's report read to you.
From Accra, let me take you to the Upper West region. The paramount chief of the Jirapa Traditional Council, Na Dina Danlagbon Ghana III, has urged government to designate Jirapa as the site for the new Upper West Regional Hospital. Speaking at the 2026 Bon Ngo Festival Deba held at Jirapa, Na Yeopoi II argued that with the Wa Regional Hospital set to be upgraded into a teaching hospital for the University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, Jirapa remains the most practical and also strategic choice for the region's next major facility. Join News' Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
Dust rose like applause when Nadina Donlobon Ghana III rode into the Deba grounds on horseback. It was the grand Deba of the 2026 Bongo Festival, celebrated by the chiefs and people of the Jirapa traditional area. Xylophones Ojili sounded melodiously, queens glittered, sub-chiefs bowed, but the paramount chief of the Jirapa traditional area didn't come just for culture. With the Upper West Regional Hospital set to become a teaching hospital for Ubis Medical School, Jirapa should host a new Upper West Regional Hospital.
As government considers upgrading the current regional hospital into a teaching hospital to serve the medical school of Ubis, we humbly but firmly submit that Jirapa is a worthy and strategic location for establishing the regional hospital, not just for today, but for generations yet unborn.
The horseback entrance was majestic. The message was urgent. Nadina Donlobon listed the bones of neglect, abandoned town roads, unfinished administration block at St. Joseph Hospital, and schools running on empty. Jirapa Senior High School has no bars. The Community Health Training College has no fence wall. St. Francis Girls needs a pickup badly. He even made a personal appeal for Pius Zinadubo, a doctor of pharmacy student at UCC, who needs financial support.
Abandoned projects from town roads to the St. Joseph's Hospital administration block cry out for completion. St. Francis Girls Senior High School needs a pickup vehicle worthy of its purpose. These are not just infrastructure gaps, they are opportunities for responsible leadership and transformative actions.
Jirapa MP Korle Bu Doctors answered on the spot. He pledged to cover 2026 BEC exam cost for basic schools and donate 160 bed seats to St. Joseph's Hospital. Immediate relief for students and patients.
Let me also assure the people of Jirapa that I, as a member of parliament, will not let you down. I will represent you actively beyond Jirapa, and also to ensure that my impact as the member of Jirapa is felt in all the communities in Jirapa, whether in education, in health, in water, sanitation, and all of that. I will not let you down. That I want to assure the people of Jirapa.
Our Power Minister Charles Wongo Pozin, standing in for President John Dramani Mahama, called for absolute unity and shared responsibility to transform the area.
One of the greatest lessons history teaches us is that no community can rise beyond the level of its unity. Jirapa municipality, blessed with rich culture, hard-working people, and immense potential, can only attain transformational growth when all citizens, chiefs, youth, women, farmers, professionals, political leaders, and traditional authorities work together with sincerity and a common purpose.
But Bongo isn't just politics, it is roots. Women's take place on the Dawa tree, warning against Katanet Young, showing how it fruits, feeds families, and funds school fees. Then came the ritual. Sub-chiefs formally asked the Jiribana for permission to harvest. By tradition, no one touches Dawa until he says so. He nodded, and the season began. Paramount Chief of the Poroma traditional area, Kuro Osmanu Diwe Nampada III, reminded the crowd why hospitals matter. In 1996, he pedaled a bicycle from his village to Jirapa, racing his brother to St. Joseph's Hospital for emergency care. Kuro Osmanu Diwe Nampada III ended with a warning.
And as chiefs who are custodians of our culture, we must do everything possible to not lose our culture in the midst of Western and Arabian religion in our midst. That has adulterated our culture.
Jirapa dance on Saturday. It drummed, it honored Dawa, but when the Paramount Chief dismounted, his message stayed standing. If one gets a teaching hospital, give Jirapa the original one. The rules are here. The people are ready. The horseback has spoken. Reporting for Kojo News, Rafik Salam, Jirapa.
Well, it's time now for business right after this breather. Welcome back. Associate Professor of Finance at the University of Cape Coast Business School, Seyram Kawo, says the Bank of Ghana's 15.6 billion cedi operating loss for 2025 is directly linked to cost of aggressive monetary interventions that have helped to ease inflation and stabilize the cedi. Speaking to Joy Business, Professor Kawo argued that the loss should not be viewed as mismanagement, but as the price of restoring macroeconomic stability after the 2022-2023 crisis years.
The Bank of Ghana may not be losing money. In our eyes, the Bank of Ghana is losing money, but they are losing money to fight the rate of inflation. They are losing money to ensure that we have interest rates coming down on the books. On the books of Bank of Ghana, that is going down. So when you look at the entire economy, when interest rates are coming down, businesses are expanding. They are getting money at a lower rate, and you see that those businesses will be paying more tax revenue to the government of Ghana. And so when you, it might look like the Bank of Ghana is making losses, but they are not making losses, but they are making those losses in order for us to enjoy the good economic and have a stable economy in the country. But we should not say that that should be something that is acceptable. At what rate do we sacrifice the economy? At what rate of inflation do we want to fight in order to put this amount of money on our tables?
Absolutely.
So as we go forward, there should be systems that will be put in place. And you look at the sharp decrease that we have in the rate of inflation over the years, from 23% up to over just a little bit over 3% that we have. That's a sharp decline that we have in our rate of inflation. That is just telling us that the Bank of Ghana has invested so much, and that is the result that we are seeing as a loss. If they maintain this momentum and the policy implications are still working for them, then we don't hope to see the same thing happening.
The American Chamber of Commerce Ghana, together with the UK Chamber of Commerce, is advocating closer collaboration between businesses and also the Ghana Revenue Authority to improve tax compliance and ease filing processes for companies. They made the call ahead of a networking event being hosted by the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce in partnership with AmCam Ghana to mark International Jazz Day.
The event, organized by the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce in partnership with the American Chamber of Commerce Ghana, brought together corporate leaders and entrepreneurs to network while discussing key business opportunities.
We have English language in common, but aside that, we are the biggest bilateral in Ghana, so it's very important that we come together for a worthy cause as well. So there's an opportunity for our members to get to know each other, to build relationships, to build partnerships if possible, but also to give back. As you know, the UK GCC is giving back to the Marie-Louise Hospital, and we want to support them to get this incubator for the hospital.
Chief Executive Officer of the American Chamber of Commerce, Doris Kafui Afenya-Day, says enhance the collaboration with the Ghana Revenue Authority is critical to helping companies seamlessly file their tax returns.
I think it has to do with members feeling that there's no opportunity for them. What members are looking for is for somebody at the GRA that when they have issues, they can approach and see how the issues can be resolved. Because sometimes when these issues come up, they have very short time to resolve them, and they have a penalty they have to pay, or they get their offices, their companies shut down. So they actually comply before they have opportunity to investigate some of these issues, and that's some of the concern for our members. American companies want to follow the laws everywhere they find themselves, and therefore we want to follow the law, but we want to be able to question some of the issues that come up or see how we can resolve them.
The Executive Director of the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce, Ajoba Chiema, also said the Chamber is continuing with its charity campaign and emphasized the importance of the event.
We thought that for a first event this year together, we would host this live jazz band and network and do business. So essentially, that's what it is about. The UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce is continuing with this charity campaign to raise funds in support of the neonatal unit at the Princess Marie-Louise Hospital. And so we are hoping that patrons will donate generously so that this year we can go and do the presentation to the Princess Marie-Louise Hospital.
The American Chamber of Commerce Ghana and the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce are hopeful that the engagement will deepen collaboration between businesses and regulators, while also celebrating the unifying power of music.
Well, that's it for business. That's it for AM News. But don't forget that the AM show is sponsored by Shield Silicone Paint from Azar Group, Syntex Pipes, and also Time Herbal Mixture. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we enjoy today's moment, remember to keep your body refreshed and your energy right with Fresh Drop Seal Natural Mineral Water. Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water is not just any water. It's natural and mineral rich that keeps you going. So whether you're dancing, cheering, networking, or simply enjoying the moment, Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water helps you stay cool, refreshed, and fully present. So grab a bottle available in 500 ml, 20-liter jars, and sachets. For bulk purchase or inquiries, call 055-22-50290. My name is Denise Yapomaide. Thank you so much for joining us for AM News. Up next is sports. Do enjoy the rest of the show and have a lovely Monday.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,000 247.
Hey, Abili, wabidim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind your ATM card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered across to our customers this morning.
Confirm if this is your bank account. 100,100,100.
Thanks for sending your bank card details.
Send the OTP now to avoid cancellation.
EcoBank will never call, email, send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Don't get played. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hello, please, I'm calling from Customer Experience Center.
Hi, now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time, our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown cranes, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults, this price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It's been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Mothers give us everything, love, strength, and life itself. And it's time to give back. Joy FM presents the Joy Mommy's Day Out. Join us on Saturday, May 9th, for a day bursting with thrills. We'll have your day packed with irresistible activities like paddle boating on calm waters, an adrenaline rush with horseback riding, quad biking, exciting safari tour, friendly competitions such as dance contests, and wrap the prize, a chance to meet the mysterious Ujafokwa crocodile revered as the protector, and to top it all off, a delicious feast of local dishes and drinks accompanied by the sensational sounds of the Ajinkor Band. Come, let's crown our mothers with joy and adventure at the Crown Forest. For inquiries, call Lois on 059-1709-309. The Joy FM Crown Forest experience is proudly brought to you by the Crown Forest, where nature meets luxury.
Shield silicone paint repels water, dispels water vapor, is washable, self-cleaning, and durable. Now, you can appreciate how and why Shield silicone paint is super strong and thus able to do what other paints cannot do. Shield silicone paint from Azar Group since 1921.
Another week is here on the greatest of all time show. My name is Giovanni Clip, and tonight we're bringing you talent. Contestant number 1, let's bring Baby Girl. Let's bring. He did it for you.
Cut. Oh, there is a leakage.
Where's the plumber? For quality and durability, insist on Syntex pipes. If you want quality, this be where you belong. Strong, tough, and reliable. Your perfect match to your trusted Syntex pipe. Syntex pipe, it dey carry water, no wahala. Syntex pipe, it dey make water dey flow. Syntex, and you're strong, and you're tough.
Eko becho ake wobu noni wosumo be kume ejon shikenisa koni lahi sani akaba. Heba moje noni jiji oda ne eji tuebo alo tuefe mu kokobo o fe ni bibi je jale pena
lahi afaba fojo shishinke jomino ake makwemi hino jodban.
Good Conduct, Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie.
Tastes great.
More Kivo inside. Kivo Gari Soaking Mix. Taste of Ghana.
Hey! Is your tech holding you back? Feeling lost in the maze of outdated gadgets? Relax. Come with me to Configure.
Magic. Now I've been international fashion designer. No more pencil than talk matter beer. Coffee Ghana. Class in boy.
Oh, number 1.
Ghana, we don't just sell electronics, we transform your life. From office to home appliances and more, we have everything you need to step into the future.
Comfy Ghana, class in Kwa. Comfy Ghana, number 1.
And all their modern ambition taste, there is no margin for error. So much here is familiar.
Over 1900 games brought us here.
There is not a sporting heat quite like this.
But history doesn't care about the journey.
The Premier League is the best league in the world.
La Liga is far and beyond the biggest winner.
It only remembers how it ends.
You bought it. It's not a word. You bought it.
8 titles. 1 month of mayhem to decide them all.
That is outstanding from Patrick Dorgan.
Stay connected and watch GoTV to catch the football season finale this May. It's on.
We bring you sports now on the AM show with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. Ghana exports billions of dollars of non-traditional goods annually to the USA. The 2026 FIFA World Cup match between Ghana and England would be in Boston. And so, with a Made in Ghana Expo on the 22nd and 23rd of June at the Envision Hotel in Boston, Latina Travel and Tours, in partnership with the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, invites Ghanaian manufacturers, entrepreneurs, artisans, food and beverage processors, fashion designers, beauty and cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, medical equipment, real estate, banking and finance, building and constructions, and many more to leverage Ghana's World Cup moment and connect with international buyers, distributors, and investors in Boston, where traveling fans from all over the world would converge in Boston, the city with the strongest Ghanaian diaspora presence. This expo will showcase Ghana's most powerful commercial business exhibition and business-to-business network with U.S. companies. Register now, call to reserve a booth and enjoy massive global visibility and clinch your share in the huge U.S. export market. Get in touch with Latina on 0244-260-789 or come to Latina Travel located inside the Alisa Hotel, Northridge, to secure that spot. The Made in Ghana FIFA World Cup 2026 Expo is powered by the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. Now let me take you to Botswana and bring you highlights of how Team Ghana's relay team, secured qualification to a fourth consecutive World Athletics Championships after finishing second on day 2 of the event with 38.09 seconds.
Here we go for World Championship qualification places in the men's 4x100 meters. China lightning out of the blocks right on the outside in the red. Good change by Ghana, not a good change by China right on the outside, negating that brilliant start they had. Kenya right in the centre, looking to position Omanyala well for the close. China have recovered well, they're right on the outside from Ghana, then Italy on their inside. And Kenya trying to get involved. Brazil right on the inside as well. The second slot's going to be close, but it's China away at the moment. Brazil have pulled up. China, Omanyala charging, but it's going to be China and Ghana. The outside lanes prevail and head for the World Championships. Loads of Chinese support here in the arena, the hosts of the World Championships next year. And their men's 4x100 meter team qualify through. Ghana in second spot, the fourth placers from the world final in Tokyo.
We're bringing you a reaction of Team Ghana following that race in Botswana to secure that qualification to the event. But before that, let's take a wrap of all the events that happened on day 2 of the World Athletics Championships. Ellen Thompson-Herah reloaded her early years of sprint as she led Jamaica's 4x1 women's team to win the 4x1 women's event. Host Botswana won the 4x400 meters, whilst USA won the 4x1 men's event. We'll take you through the highlights of these events.
As well, there were one or two slightly wobbly changes there. Paraguay had a nightmare, but it's Portugal right on the outside. France and Italy, only 2 of the automatic places up for grabs. As Zeynep Dosso, the world indoor champion over 60, gets the baton in her hand. On the inside, Belgium are flying as well. It's Italy, Portugal on the outside, coming fast. It's going to be Italy and Portugal who qualify for the World Championships in Beijing. Italy's choice to bring in Zeynep Dosso on the anchor pays dividends. Good legs from all 3 there. The gaps didn't grow too much on that leg. Still, Belgium, Japan and Canada then. It's a 400-meter dash. So they're miles clear of the rest. Here comes the challenge from Proctor of Canada. Belgium out front. Japan fighting back in that second spot. Are they both going to reel Belgium in? It's Canada who are coming home for the victory, and Belgium hold on. It would have been absolute heartbreak for Belgium to lose it on the line, but they're through, as are Canada, who judged it to perfection. And now Maudsley is eating away at the French athlete Brossier. 2 places up for grabs in the World Championships, and at the moment it's Ireland with all the momentum, chasing the first qualification from these World Athletics relays. Look at Maudsley, she ran brilliantly yesterday for no reward, but today she and Ireland will get that reward. And it's going to be Ireland and France off to the World Championships, and Jamaica miss out. And adding Charlene Maudsley and her closing experience there has got them through.
As we go into this final exchange,
So Japan have the lead. Seamus Derbyshire just tight for room of Great Britain on the inside there. Switzerland are still coming as well in 5th position, but look like they've got a lot to do. Japan now as Lima finds some room in lane 2 to try to challenge, and it's going to be Japan and Brazil who progress through to the World Championships. Great Britain 3rd, tight on the line for 4th between China and Switzerland, and Japan and Brazil get the job done. But one from the outside, it's Switzerland at the moment, with Australia inside and Great Britain trying to get back into it. Switzerland and Australia hand over. Great Britain in pursuit now on the ankle end with Success Edouan, who last year we saw charge down the home straight. Can she do it again here? Australia, Switzerland, Edouan closing again. She just loves the world relays, but it's Australia who held on and really tight for the 2nd spot. Great Britain and Northern Ireland in 2nd and Switzerland in 3rd. So Success Edouan did get Great Britain home. And Kenya trying to get involved. Brazil right on the inside as well. The 2nd slot's going to be close, but it's China away at the moment. Brazil have pulled up. China, Omanyala charging, but it's going to be China and Ghana. The outside lanes prevail and head for the World Championships. Loads of Chinese support here in the arena, the hosts of the World Championships next year. And their men's 4x100 metre team qualify through. Ghana in 2nd spot. The 4th placers from the World Final in Tokyo also follow them in. The mixed 4x100 metres final is underway. Jamaica, the world record holders, with Akeem Blake about to hand on to Tina Clayton. USA send Jada Mowat on their way inside them. Canada, the defending champions, with Marie-Eloise Leclerc, but Jamaica are flying down the back straight as Kadrian Goldson gets the baton for them way out front at the moment. Jamaica absolutely steaming their way around the bend. One from the outside, Germany are going well. USA on the inside, the final change is good. And for Jamaica, here goes Tia Clayton. She's metres clear. Keep an eye on the clock here. The first World Athletics Relays title of 2026 goes to Jamaica in a big new world record. Canada home in 2nd, last year's champions, but Jamaica got it all absolutely right when it mattered. And the USA, who comes into the home straight, opening up a gap on Clayton of Jamaica here. Great Britain are closing on Kenya for 3rd. Top 6 make the ultimates, but the top ones are USA. Your champions ahead of Jamaica, and Great Britain do get 3rd. That was a real traditional 4x4 relay fight, wasn't it, between the United States and Jamaica. The glitter goes to the USA ahead of Jamaica, and Great Britain rallied for that 3rd spot in the end, with Yemi Mary John running an absolute stormer. As Elaine Thompson here prepares to get the baton for Jamaica. She's got Donovan Tambaway of Canada to chase down, and Maria Perez outside. Elaine Thompson here rolling back the years. The 5 times Olympic gold medalist brings Jamaica home ahead of Canada and Spain. Thompson here switching from hand to hand, and away she goes. But Elaine Thompson here, quite something down the home straight. So good to see after so long out. On the final leg, PJ Austin against Akani Simbini. Germany not out of it. Look at Australia on the inside with Rowan Browning. But it's the USA. Simbini challenging for Africa. Can't get there. USA take the title, deposing last year's winners, South Africa. What a run down the home straights, what a head-to-head, as some of the key contenders fell by the wayside around the track. South Africa have to settle for silver this time around. But Henrietta Yaga has a little glance behind to see has she done the hard work. Can she break Spain down the home straight? Norway moving away from what will be a famous victory. Yaga holding off the defending champion Spain. Norway, your champions, ahead of Spain, and it's Canada who get up on the line for the bronze. Norway upset the informed nations. They only came to Gaborone with one team, and that one team are going home as gold medalists. What an absolute thriller to bring the curtain down on the Dipswana World Athletics Relays here in Gaborone. Kevinachi Biangles out to give the home crowd what they came for. South Africa trying to fight back, but it's Botswana who will sparkle in the land of the diamonds. 2 words: the noise. It's another silver for South Africa. They gave it their best shot. The energy has been seeping out of these stands for 2 days solid, but never has it reached a crescendo like we're seeing right now.
Now let's hear from Ghanaian athletes, Joseph Paulama, Benjamin Azamati, Rashid Saminu, and Edwin Gadai as they react to qualifying to the World Athletics Championships 2027. They also spoke about the fact that they had poor preparations ahead of the event.
We are professionals, you know, and stuff like this can come at any time in our careers. It was less than ideal situations, but we had to go there and still give our best. After the race, coach JP, you know, called us. We had a talk, and then he told us he wanted to do some adjustments. And we were like, let's go for it. So we just trusted, our training, and we trusted what the coach, had put together for us to come do over here today.
You didn't have a reserve. Were you worried at any point in time?
It's part of track and field, not the reserve part. Like, everyone going into a race, anything could happen. We always wish for the best, no injuries, good races, but we don't have a reserve here. God being so good, there were no injuries. We are just happy to be able to come out of here. Yeah.
So I believe you've just qualified for your 4th consecutive World Championships. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it feels great. We know how to do it now. I mean, if we have been able to do it 4 consecutive times, we know how to do it. It's just about, we've qualified now. Now we have to go get better individually and then regroup and then run faster.
So the African Championships, less than 2 weeks now. What should we be expecting from you guys?
Nothing but the best. As a defending champion, we are ready to defend our title again.
And then individually, what are your targets for this year, each of you individually?
That was Team Ghana speaking there. Right after that interview, Abdul Rashid Samini, who anchored Ghana to qualify to the World Athletics Championships, took to social media and called out the Ministry of Sports and Recreation, claiming that had they been the Black Stars, they would have gotten tickets available for them about a month prior to their event. And he said that most of the athletes arrived in the morning and had to run in the afternoon on the day of the event. They had to travel for almost 24 hours before arriving in Botswana. Let's take a look at the tweet that Abdul Rashid Samino dropped yesterday after Ghana qualified to the World Athletics Championships. This was what he wrote. He said, the Minister of Sports in Ghana needs to do better. Don't set us up for failure. If it was Black Stars, flight tickets would have been ready prior to their game. 14 hours flight, 16 hours layover is not acceptable for professional athletes. We're running with jet lag, no proper recovery. The Minister of Sports and Recreation has not reacted to this. In fact, Benjamin Azamati also came and added his voice to this. But it was the Ghana Athletics, they released a statement saying that they've taken notice of this after congratulating them for qualifying to the World Athletics Championships. The Ghana Athletics said that they take full responsibility for the events that happened prior to the team's participation in the World Relays. And it says that they will do better in subsequent events. Now, let me wrap up with something pretty quick, which is happening later tonight. Joy Sports have an exclusive conversation with Daniel Kofi. For the first time in 36 months, he played football. He was injured for 3 years, and he's been speaking for the first time after kicking a ball in 36 months. He spoke to my colleague, Fenty Utai, who will bring you this exclusive interview later tonight on Joy Prime. But these are excerpts of what he's been saying about playing for Ghana. One of the things he spoke about is the fact that Andre Ayew is his childhood idol, and Bumarago Akaso is a player that he feared the most in the Black Stars team.
The pleasure, the whole period of time from the day when I joined the Black Stars to my injury where I couldn't participate anymore. The day was really taking good care of me and of course, he was for me a childhood hero, and still have like pictures of him and other players. A lot you mentioned in the list in my childhood room. But yeah, I have big respect for Dede, and I had the pleasure of playing with him, playing alongside of him, and when I was with him on the pitch, I think I never told him, but I was scared to lose a tackle, that he will scream on me, and so he motivated me a lot, even in training. He was like a player who always give 100% in every training session, and this big respect for Wakaso.
And this is our wrap-up AM Sports here with me, Muftaro Nabila Abdullahi. But do not forget to also get in touch with March Hospitality Experience to secure your ticket for the semi-final and final of the FIFA World Cup. Call them on 055-155-11119, 055-155-11119 to secure your ticket, or sales@marchexphospitality.com, or go to our website, which is www.marchexphospitality.com. The newspaper review is coming your way up next.
Chase down, and Maria Perez outside. Elaine Thompson-Hera rolling back the years. The 5 times Olympic gold medalist brings Jamaica home ahead of Canada and Spain. Thompson-Hera switching from hand to hand, and away she goes. But Elaine Thompson-Hera, quite something down the home straight. So good to see after so long out. On the fun.
Traveled to Dubai to go find greener pastures. Then I found this one friend of mine who actually helped me. So I was just into this kind of Chinese company thing. Yeah. But it got to a time that the Chinese company work broke down. So I had no choice than to look for another country to go settle so I can find more money to help home. So as they told her, they said stewardship, and they called for a roll call. Like, which kind of stewardship roll call thing? So we all came out, and a commander came. They said we are waiting for a commander. He came, he was a Ghanaian. We were 54 in numbers, whereby we were being dressed to move to the front line. At that time, we were lucky enough that it was snowing. So the snow actually helped us a little. Yeah, you can choose snow with a mix of sand. With the 1st battalion, you have to be fit before you get there. And with that, you are dodging drone, you are dodging landmines, you are dodging long distance missiles, you are dodging bullets, you are dodging grenades.
Hey, so you knew you were going to die then?
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. I'm in the valleys. Keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you. Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
Game on. Confirm your participation. Place bets on sport. Get a free bets and weekly cashback. Take part in the prize drawings. Use promo code to get welcome bonus.
Hi, now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown cranes, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults? This price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,000 247.
Hey, Abili, wabadim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind your ATM card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered across to our customers this morning.
Confirm if this is your bank account. 100,100,100.
Thanks for sending your bank card details.
Send the OTP now to avoid cancellation.
EcoBank will never call, email, send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Don't get played. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hello, please, I'm calling from Customer Experience Center.
Cadbury hot chocolate, crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy, chocolatey, frothy goodness, rich taste, so satisfying.
Cadbury goodness, the treats you deserve every day.
Mothers give us everything, love, strength, and life itself. And it's time to give back. Joy Fair presents the Joy Mommy's Day Out. Join us on Saturday, May 9th, for a day bursting with thrills. We'll have your day packed with irresistible activities like paddle boating on calm waters, an adrenaline rush with horseback riding, quad biking, exciting safari tour, friendly competitions such as dance contests, and wrap the prize, a chance to meet the mysterious Ujafokwa crocodile revered as the protector, and to top it all off, a delicious feast of local dishes and drinks, accompanied by the sensational sounds of the Ajinkor Band. Come, let's crown our mothers with joy and adventure at the Crown Forest. For inquiries, call Lois on 059-1709-309. The Joy FM Crown Forest experience is proudly brought to you by the Crown Forest, where nature meets luxury.
Father, you have to hear me.
It's early morning. Before the day begins, Priscilla Nanama Samson takes a quiet moment to pray. Today is the final school day before the basic education certificate examination.
Hey, child, what's in danger?
At 17, Priscilla has been preparing for this moment for years. She lives with cerebral palsy, a condition she's had since birth. But that has not changed her goal.
What would you want to do?
Yes.
You want to be a nurse? Why do you want to be a nurse?
But I want to take care of sick people.
Her morning routine is steady. She sweeps, washes, doing as much as she can on her own. Even getting ready takes effort, but she takes her time and keeps moving.
Scrabble.
School is about a kilometer away. She walks the distance, greeting people along the way.
Good morning. Oh, yeah.
It takes longer, but she gets there. In school, the challenges continue. A classroom is upstairs, and getting there takes effort. In class, she joins others, listening, answering questions, and doing her best to keep up. Reading and writing are difficult, and sometimes she struggles to follow the lessons. But she keeps trying.
Challenges. I think challenges. That's all. How challenges?
Sometimes I give her the whole day to finish it. So I don't. Yes.
So whilst others are done with theirs, she
still continues.
She still has to sit down
yes.
and has to write her own.
Yes, always. Yeah, that's how she has been doing it. I just don't want to rush her, so sometimes I give her more time to finish with everything.
So teachers adjust, giving her more time and extra support, working through lessons until they become clearer.
So we took it upon ourselves with the school owner that we find ways and means to also teach her for her to understand. Sometimes after class, we call her personal, then we also take her through the class. You see. So she finds it very difficult in writing also, sometimes, mostly.
If they teach in class, I don't understand more, but if they teach me in this school, I understand.
Priscilla is not alone in this journey. Behind her is a friend, Florence, someone who understands the effort it takes for her to keep up.
What I admire most about her is her determination. She is very active in class and she forces to do all the activities we engage ourselves in. Sometimes I help her in her classworks and homeworks if she doesn't understand them in some of the lessons.
That support has made a difference. For a long time, she didn't feel she belonged. In her previous school, she was often blamed for things she did not do, and it wore her down.
Make me feel painful. You write on your hand and you put some.
How did that make you feel?
I feel like I'm not part of the school. I feel like I'm not part of the school. It makes me feel sad and make me cry.
Yeah, man. No, class 2 say class 10. Na nkwala bi pese omo tan nani e wo school mo nti afi de na edu baby na school no pese obekobi no mo nsem omo timi ko chiro wo ho No more nation. Ye be some say na ma na ye, Prince la na ye. Or say ma nya me na me ye, ma me nya hwe. Nti after the school no because ma me go school ni bio. Ma me go school ni bio. No so. Na after the na me krokro na me dadan.
It got to a point where she no longer wanted to go to school. A confidence dropped, and the place that once excited her became difficult to return to. But that changed when she moved to a new school.
I thought you were
So how was
it? Here, she found something different. Teachers who stayed back to help, classmates who included her, and an environment where she could try again without fear. Now, the focus has shifted to what lies ahead.
You say that you're very prepared. So what school selections do you want to make?
I've got you for 2 years.
Those are the two selections that she wants. What aggregate are you hoping to get?
6 months.
Alright, so as I was saying this morning,
her teacher believes she's done the work. They have adjusted their teaching, created extra time for her, and pushed her to improve step by step.
We've already spoken to the center where we are going to write. So we want to see the supervisor and then also talk to him. I don't know whether he'll be. So I think when they came for the registration, we told them that we have this special child in our midst, and they said, okay, so we should write a letter to GA so that as for it, they can give her a period of time for her to complete with everything before she submit it. So we've already done that already. So in the BC at the hall, they will give her some time to finish with everything before they will take the paper.
Now no problem. I take it off. Making my dreams come true.
For Priscilla, this BEC is not just another test. It is a result of years of effort and setbacks she's had to overcome. And now, she's ready to take that step forward. Esther Nkrumah, Joy News, Accra.
Let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time, our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat, undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown cranes, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults? This price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Welcome to Sulas Enterprise, the shop that deals in industrial machinery such as generators, rice millers, water pumps, compressors, and mowers. From the smallest to the largest capacity, at Sulas Enterprise, we give you nothing but the best from the best brands such as Honda and Perkins. When it comes to our generators, we also sell mowers coming from brands like Honda, Briggs and Straton, and Oluma. And when it comes to our water pumps, we offer you brands like Lily, Pro pudding, and Pedrolo water pumps. We also sell rice millers for all capacities. We are located at Spintex Kakalika Plaza. Also, find our various locations as displayed on screen, or call us on the following numbers: 0243-839-463 or 0554-154-416 or 0240-541-493.
Sulas Enterprise, where quality meets affordability.
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the bliss. Oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you.
Puma Drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
Shield silicone paint repels water, dispels water vapor, is washable, self-cleaning, and durable. Now, you can appreciate how and why Shield silicone paint is super strong and thus able to do what other paints cannot do. Shield silicone paint from Azar Group since 1921.
So welcome back to the AM show. Time for us to go into the Matters Arising segment. But we start, of course, as we do always, with the news review and Miss Multimedia standing by the smart world. Yeah, I just heard this name this morning. I didn't know about it. Yeah, but...
It is an internal one.
It's an internal.
Yes. It's between me and Honorable Behave. Okay. All right, good morning to you.
But you took a Hunter Pele out. But I thank you because
everybody knows about Hunter Pele. Okay, Kojo, so you have quite a loaded morning, so I'm going to be quite fast with the papers. The Daily Graphic this morning is reporting how the Finance Ministry files tax returns to boost compliance drive. And you know that the GRA has extended that. Well, instead of ending the process, April, they have extended it to May.
Oh, okay.
So that if you voluntarily go and file, the punishments that would have been accrued to you, they'll waive it off.
I think I did mine on the 60 somewhere. I went to do it. And I said, okay, they should check whether I could get clearance. They checked and it was there. I said, oh, okay, then
Good.
I'm a good citizen.
You're on cause. You're really on cause. Another thing that will interest you is government targets fair pay. Independent Emolument Commission to remove Article 71 distortion. President has been telling workers. So they intend to use the constitutional review process to at least correct that distortion they believe exists in Article 71. Public office holders must account to the public. It's an interesting read. It's on page 32 and 33 of the Daily Graphic. Now, Daily Guide this morning as well. You know, we're talking on Friday was a holiday for you, but we talked about this quite slightly. First, 110 kg demand mine gold sold to Gold Board.
Yeah.
That will be about 3,000 ounces, I think. I'm not too sure, but yeah, my mouth is not that kicking. And then Otufo Honors Angela List is on page 6 as the outstanding female mining entrepreneur across Africa. Yeah. That story is as well on page 6 of the Daily Guide.
She's done well for herself.
Absolutely. You've always said that she's quite outstanding.
And that is why I always do say that whatever is happening to Adamos, government should find a way to help her resolve the issues. After all, I'm interested in how we want to localize our natural resources. It's good. She's been in the area for a long time. So what can be done to resolve the issues between her and the communities?
Yeah.
I'm sure there is a solution. Let's do it and keep her there.
The traditional leaders actually took it a notch higher. They sort of performed some traditional rites.
Yeah.
And that was quite a tough one. But still, Kojo, the Daily Guide this morning is reporting on how child rights abuse has been blowing an alarm on child sex abuse cases surge in Accra. So over 899 child abuse cases. It would interest you to know that about 590 something or a little about 600 cases were defilement. Out of a total of 899 recorded across 10 regions, 500 and something, nearly 600 is all child abuse. It's all defilement.
Wow.
Defilement, all of it. Because child abuse could be child trafficking, child labor and all of that. But a large number of that is defilement.
What did they find about these young girls?
Could you tell me? I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Buffer stock trial. So court strikes out AG's 2 witnesses' statements. And if you read the details, this is quite procedural. Not because the witness statements were not good, but they were supposed to file them with the leave of the court, which they didn't. So story of that one as well is on page 6 of the Daily Guide this morning. Big one as well. BOG's losses is 44 billion Ghana cedis, not 15.6 billion. The minority have been speaking and also sharing their thoughts on the BOG report. Kojo, it is on Kojo's desk this morning. It's on page 6 of the Daily Guide with a picture of the minority as well, Kojo Ponkroma as well, sharing their thoughts on it. The Ghanaian publisher Gold Board buys demand first gold output. Story is on page 3 of the Ghanaian publisher. This is definitely the story, Kojo, that we reported earlier. Another story that is that has the whole country's attention, Kojo, is the Republic versus Chairman Wontumi. And for cross-examination, they say exposes inconsistencies in prosecution cases. Story is on page 4 of the Ghanaian publisher. And just a wrap of it will mean that the prosecution's witnesses, there have been some sort of inconsistency when they were cross-examining them. And it's interesting because these people are the witnesses that the prosecution banked their hopes on. What will that mean? You know what it is for criminal for criminal charges. That's all of the duties on the prosecutor.
Yeah, so when you have those loopholes and the other lawyer takes advantage of it.
That's it. Yeah. But I mean, we see how that goes. Yeah, we really see how that goes. It's on page 4. We also know that Chairman Wontumi is running for office, for internally as a chairman of the NPP, I think. I mean,
they have not filed.
He's not filed, but he has indicated.
Yeah,
okay. All right. Buffer stock trial again. I've already been telling you about court striking out AG's witness statements. And page 10 will give you that details. But if you also go to page 3 of the Ghanaian publisher this morning, VIP demands 24-hour police presence on Accra-Kumasi Highway. Kojo, I think it would be a fair demand, wouldn't it?
Just like we have on the Accra Cape Coast Highway.
Okay.
You know that sometimes even after a kilometer, you meet a police barrier.
Okay.
You know, it's quite, it delays your travel time, but it's good because it provides security.
Yeah. Especially on that on that Accra Takrady Cape Coast route. Yeah. It's not very illuminated. There aren't a lot of light.
Yes.
And then it's quite curvy. There are a lot of curves on that road. So most of the time you do a turn and there's a police ahead. Quite a good one.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a fair request.
Yeah. I mean, since they did that, I'm not sure that we've recorded an armed robbery attack on that.
On the Takrade Cape Coast. Yeah, that's a good observation.
Because they're there at every.
That's a good.
The longest is like a 2 kilometer. You meet a police barrier. Yeah.
Okay, a 2 kilometer is like from here to where?
I cannot tell. I cannot tell you. But I think if you move from here to say Tessano, you meet a barrier.
Great.
Sometimes,
that's a perfect description. Of it.
Here to Tessano.
The Finder this morning, Ghana's growth outlook deemed slightly. Fitch Solutions. Story is on page, I think, 8 of the Finder. And government targets 1% of GDP annual investments to drive job creation. Story is on page 8 of the Finder. And BUG records 15.6 billion loss in 2025. Story is on page 9 if you missed it. Ghana's digital agenda calls for SME AI adoption, and labor market recovery lags despite stable economy. An analyst has as well been sharing his thought. Stories on page 3 of the Finder. I think that will be all for the papers, Kojo. If the director is in a good mood, he'll direct us to myjoyonline.com. If it's not, I still will direct you to go on myjoyonline.com. You get more stories over there, Kojo.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anytime.
All right then, that's Emefa there. Let me come in studio now and introduce to you my guest who've joined us here for us to have the discussion. Mr. Afel is a former GJA president. He's joining us today. It's been some time since we met him on the show. Thank you for coming this morning. Daniel Nikwate, I hope I got it right this time. Titus Glover is a former Greater Accra Regional Minister. He's been a deputy minister before and a former MP as well. He's now running to be elected as the national organizer of the MPP. We also have our mom, Victoria Bright. She is a lawyer. She used to be a legal advisor to former President John Ajekum Kufuor, and she's an entrepreneur as well. Good morning to you, ma'am, for coming.
Okay. Good morning.
And then I have Kofi Bente for my own man, the MP for, I think, we also, he replaced Dr. Kofi-Addo. Yeah, that one. He never was afraid to speak his mind at all. Anyway, I hope all is well.
That's my father.
Great. That's your?
He's my father.
Your father. I used to, when he was the regional minister, sure. And I was working at Sky, he used to tell me, Kojo, me, I'm not afraid to say it, that is this. So, Galam says he's destroying this guy.
That is how he is.
Yeah. He said, me, I'm not buying crime, so he's a control. Anyway. All right, let's start. But of course, today is the day the BC students are starting their BCE. So I'd love to take advantage to wish all of you the best. I think I wrote mine in 2002. And when we had to go and write one of the days, it rained. One of my sandals went off my legs, but I had to go barefooted because, look, you cannot get 10 back to the house. You have to go and write because there was time. And here we are today. I want to tell you that you need to go into that exam thinking that you will pass, you will write it well, Whatever it is, you've been taught from class 1 to JHS 3, you have what it takes to pass. So go in there and do your best. To my children in Ahanta West, my younger brothers and sisters, as I'm saying, yes, now mommy say bobo exam say room kan na be de bon be dike sabo kroba kaka mo bezuma mu a mkam kro kasa kaka mama wa dwene ye oke alakake no anya wura kalepe kaka ma kaka o ko enna manyam ko wa mka aka de bla mamzuma enyam ko wa na wado medemdi kan saba kale na bado abo because medemdi ka enna me be exam say because we teachers say all the best to you and our student mon number kale nyamon inhabon wa no kale nam dem de kase pass with flying colors. All the best to you BC candidate. I don't know I'm sure.
Spoken in the local I think it presupposes that we also speak as well.
I've heard someone say they should ban me from speaking Ahanta. I'm going to tell that person that will be impossible.
English or
they can't do it. Yeah.
So I will flow a bit of Gan, Sefi Brosa.
Oh, yes.
It speaks well. And people can get a feel of what exactly we're saying.
Good.
Some 4 decades and plus were entering into exam hall. These are the common entrance.
4 decades. Wow.
And a half or so. So it's quite revealing that age has really catch up on us. So I want to join you and to wish our children all the best. They are prepared enough. Their teachers have walked them through. I don't want to hear these sort of more practices all over the place. I want to protect Legon. And throughout our stay and history has taught us that precept, we don't have that example over there because headmasters, teachers are so that we prepare so well to make sure we go through this exam successfully. So they should not panic. So long as you have prepared yourself, go, relax when the questions are given to you, do the best that you can.
Yeah.
You fly out in colors. Mambi mimpanye fa lebine wanda ni moshiake. Mwena wani now. Mwene kaa na ya ni nyangma. Nina nyechwi. Nanu kasiye. No wanyoma. Kaka wochwi miyake jo judan. Kojo aba mobo. Ka mobo e aba shu nyashi. Wo makpanye fa yi. Ye ya. Kuni nyangma ni ofomfo. Ni hiyo yake. Ni ba yekoni kuni waya wo here.
Okay.
Meke bibi ya monka. Brusa kan. Che menyama ugadi ba ni ayawo. Exams beke chile njemoy. Misrebe pa. Chebe ni akwesi pa. Na bakodo be jal equity. Nyame obukai. Na amukweti na be churo fine. Be pass kuswa. Will come back with flying colors. Medabasi.
Those are the I understand it because
and it's mine and hunter is so both sides so choco cheese is like that.
Okay.
When you go to Chiriponi, I speak in the knee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just like that. So that's how we communicate.
Okay. All right. Honorable Mente.
So,
Emefa bukayo.
Make a view of the answer. Now, maybe problem for me firstborn Ochro BC.
Oh, okay.
It's in Jamaica. Now my chum five school.
Oh, nice.
You see, as a point of contact, the Janaima, my Bombay mama. Velvetro BC was a also great. Na my Kabeche, never be through. Yeah, Yabrason senior. Can you put it beyond ne wakum?
Yeah, Miss.
Aha, I live by my cultural residence. Yes, soye tables in Gweti. Oh, ye tiefia. If you walk one layer hole and in a brain, in fact, the Biomoko swabby dear few nucro to and you bring by oat to gather our table and chairs there before the day of exam comes. But and then Yamiadum, me say center of Wakum, center when your brain, center of nuclear creating your treasure. And then we through as they say Akosua. Now, boys, you be a land. Mr. Mbaya boy abokasun, I'm Akosua Bekunya. But me come to Mr. Check said they so Minister for Education or also. Well, said the by 7:30. Okay. Oko Boakun, Oko Assange, Oko Astra, Balan Mobile, Remila walking in view. Tiwa from Joe Comicro. No, quite no more Kugum and Balan with your teacher minister. I know through. Okay. Oh, Astra, Motoko, where's I'm Okoye. Come on.
All right.
No, Oko,
thank you very much. So the three of us will represent the rest. Let's start with the Korle Bu doctors going on strike today. Today is May 4th, and they are citing unresolved operational concerns. One of them, they say that they've excluded the lab physicians from hospital central lab. Again, doctors denied access to facility for years with repeated concerns not being addressed. Let me start with you, lady, the only lady amongst us. Why must it be that doctors will find issues or will have concerns, raise them, but no one would address them and will force them to go on strike, which will then affect healthcare delivery?
Yes, I mean, same question that I'm sure a lot of Ghanaians are asking themselves today, because the strike is not about money. You know, it's about a genuine concern about patient care and healthcare generally in this country. What is happening is not merely industrial action. It is, I feel, it's a signal of deeper systemic strain in Ghana's healthcare delivery architecture. And the strike is not what is creating the problem, it's rather exposing the problem. Our doctors are the front line of healthcare delivery. So for me, when they raise concerns about restricted access to diagnostic infrastructure and the implementation of expanded service policies without the commensurate capacity, then we also have governance issues, you know, clinical governance issues. What is happening is I find it deeply worrying, and I'm sure a lot of Ghanaians also find it deeply worrying. I use the word governance because for me it's about clinical governance and patient safety. Because access to labs is not optional, it's core to diagnosis and treatment. That's the first thing you do. Doctors do when you go and see them. And so, you know, concerns about lab access, clinical control, and safe working conditions, it's a warning. It's a warning to all of us that the system is in trouble. And this should concern every Ghanaian, because the situation that the doctors are describing doesn't just disrupt services, but ultimately it endangers lives and undermines medical training and care for all of us. So the question is, how did the system really deteriorate to this point? I mean, to force doctors to go on strike. When you read what they're saying, you know, they've tried and tried and tried to put reason in this situation, and it's just falling on deaf ears. And they are saying that, as far as they are concerned, patients are under risk if the current conditions continue. So they have no option but to strike. I feel that healthcare reform, I mean, they're talking about getting doctors to work 24 hours. But healthcare reform must be grounded in our operational reality. You know, what is on the ground. Otherwise, patient safety becomes the unintended casualty. So it is good that the government is pursuing a 24-hour healthcare. And in actual fact, that is supposed, I mean, every hospital is supposed to work around the clock anyway. So it's a good policy ambition. However, without the necessary resources and tools, it's dangerous. Because you can't expand services without staff, without putting in place the right systems and funding. And Korle-Bu is our biggest hospital. It's our most prestigious teaching hospital. And so if that system breaks down, it affects the whole country. And so at the end of the day, this is about whether Ghana's top public hospital can still function safely. And if the doctors who are working there say they can't work safely, then we should listen to them. We shouldn't fight them or dismiss them or ignore them or underplay the situation, because if we don't listen, the system will collapse and the real victim will become Ghanaians, Ghanaian patients. So for me, we need urgent solutions. They need to be engaged so that this thing can come to an end. It should never have escalated to a strike. And for me, the failure is not really the strike, it's what made that strike inevitable. And we must fix it very quickly, very decisively, to ensure that the system works for the one person that matters the most, and that is the patient.
Okay, all right. Let me bring in Mr. Money here. Mr. Money, I mean, what the doctors are calling for is for the right things to be done. One thing I saw them say is merit-based leadership. Now, which means that there are some people pushing to leadership that they feel that they don't deserve. Isn't that why someone would also then feel that, yes, because I have a godfather somewhere, even though you have concerns, I won't do anything about it until it gets to the point where, how do we correct that in our system?
This is an issue can be resolved through dialogue. I believe the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital has a union or spokespersons who speak for the workers.
They say they've tried it. It hasn't worked.
But this does not stop them from pursuing, fighting for their right. Certain issues take a long time to be resolved. And, there are a lot of perennial issues in so many workplaces. Some are so chronic that it will take some takashi or some hardcore measures to get them resolved. And what's happening in Korle Bu is not an exception. My only consolation is that this is the first signal. We are told that the strike will be in phases. Yeah. So this gives us some leeway to tackle this issue with urgent promptitude, as Vika said. And because if you allow this to fester, if you allow this crisis to reach a pyramidal peak, then the consequences will be loss of precious lives. And this is something we should do at all costs to prevent. So we urging all parties, please go back to the negotiating table, and officialdom should also listen to them. It's a disgrace that Korle Bu, with all its pedigree, will rely on outside services for diagnosis services. This is highly unacceptable. And some of these issues occur because they are not brought into the public domain. So it reinforces the need for also, especially those in journalists, especially journalists in the health sector, to bring this to the public domain, raise these issues, force officialdom to address them with the urgency they deserve. If they don't, then we can hold their legs to the fire of accountability.
Okay.
Let's look at the perspective for which the doctors are striking this morning. I don't know whether they've embarked on that yet, but from what I have read and what I have heard known, it is not entirely on issues of Korle Bu broadly, but what is happening in the central lab.
Yes.
And probably the entire diagnostic system within the hospital. They have complained of leadership. It is not about leadership of Korle Bu, but there's some kind of leadership in the laboratories that the doctors are seeking for. I had an experience. In fact, I have a partnership with one of the world-leading laboratories in Ghana to operate a center in my region. So when you go to Yoso, we have a laboratory there that is operating, something I started some 6-7 years ago as a result of the need for proper diagnosis for doctors. And so along the line, I got to know some of the things that are even causing the problem in Korle Bu now. Let me tell you, those who operate the laboratories are trained as laboratory technicians. Yeah. And at a point in what they do to feed the doctors in the consulting rooms, doctors try and struggle to even come to terms with some of the reports they receive. I have, and I know, one of my partners who is a medical doctor and had to quit his profession to go into laboratory. In fact, at that time, he took that decision when he was in Korle Bu, because some of the lab reports he was getting in the consulting room, he thought were not to the expectations. So in fact, I know, I will not mention his name, but if he's listening to me, he knows. He stopped entire medicine practice to go into laboratory. And I tell you, he's doing a fantastic job in the diagnostics field, because sometimes it is not just about the lab samples you take into the machines, but the entire overview of what you saw with the patient while in the consulting room can even determine how you appreciate the values you are getting within the machines at the laboratory, or whether to take some comparative or external tests. What is happening now is that we have laboratory physicians, doctors who have gone ahead to be good in labs. When they come to places like Korle Bu, where they operate, they find, in fact, they used to have their way in the laboratories to also cope with the laboratory technicians. And to me, I know what they were doing was serving as good. But the laboratory technicians who are not physicians see these people as imposing leadership on them in their area of or field of work. So when the doctors come to the lab center, they become leaders. When they are assigned there, they become leaders. And that's the leadership challenge they're completing.
Okay.
So for some time, they have sacked the doctors, physicians from coming to participate in the laboratory.
Okay.
And that is for years. That's what the doctors are saying. They have tried to let the management appreciate that in modern medicine and health service delivery, a lot of nations are heading towards that. When you go to UK, US now, that is what they all are going. That let the physicians, the medical practitioners also come to join us in the labs so that they bring their perspective. We add our technicalities, our specialties, and we can give very good lab report for the treatment of the patients. Here in Ghana, we have not gone there. I know Nigeria is also pursuing the same course that we are pursuing here. Our doctors are not crying for anything for themselves. All they are saying is that they want to be involved in the diagnosis of the hospitals, at the hospitals for the patient, so that they can treat her. Is this what we cannot give them? I don't know how far they have gone with the management of Korle Bu, but I'm appealing to the lab technicians. I know some of you. Let us know that, you see, selfishness is so subtle that sometimes it eludes us in some of the courses we use it to course. I am a lab person. I'm supposed to manage this. But at the end of the day, let's look at what that is happening or that is causing to our patients who come to Korle Bu. So as for me, I am for the doctors participating in the laboratory diagnosis, and I think Korle Bu's management should look at what is going on, the trend that is going on in the world now, to let us have an amicable solution within them. In fact, if it is about leadership or management, that can be handled. Assuming we go to the lab center and we say, this is our organogram. Yes, the doctors will come. They will play this key role, but because it is lab, maybe a senior lab person should play this. So that at the end of the day, what I am looking for is the doctors are permitted to participate in the laboratory process so we can get good results for the treatment of our patients.
Okay, Titus. Kojo, I've listened to my colleagues so well. And my background is trade unionism. I'm a proud unionist. Okay.
I started my politics from the trade unions in 1992. And when union strikes like this, it means that they have been raising issues, trying to get the attention of the authorities to resolve whatever difference that they have. And that becomes the last resort. We are talking about Korle Bu, the premier hospital in this country. When they strike, it is the ordinary patient in their care that will suffer. I see three clear issues here. Issue one, leadership failure. Issue two, lack of communication. Issue three, clear professional distinctions between the technicians and the real physicians or doctors who are there. Last week I was with the Honorable Professor Beyo, who happens to be a very renowned gynecologist, who is now the chairman of the Korle Bu board. I want to appeal to my brother. I want him to succeed. Whatever the issues are, you should engage the Korle Bu management, the lab technicians or whatever their union or blah, 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 and sit down quickly and resolve these things.
I like her professional.
Because they need to address this matter. This matter should not even go to the Minister for Health. That is why the president has established the board. It is only when it's beyond the board and the management that the minister can step in. But I know Akosua is watching. Okay? So they must meet immediately, because at the end of the day, it is the patient that is going to kick it. Why should it get to this far? Who is communicating amongst them? Who are they listening to? So I think that clearly we need to establish this foundation and make sure we deal with this matter. If I'm a technician, a lab technician, I know my role. I will start collecting the blood, the feces, the urine, and everything, and I'll pass it on to the doctor. A trained doctor, because your years of training are quite distinct. They are not the same. A technician may have a role he plays. The doctor in the laboratory science also has a role that they play. You work hand in hand, side by side. Why do you have to flex muscles here? Kojo, why do you flex muscles here? Because somebody wants to be what? We are all appealing. But in as much as we are talking about all these things, their working conditions too is quite a problem. When you look at the excessive workloads, the excessive workload that they are working with, their conditions, is so much. Sometimes this pressure on them leads to some of these misunderstandings. So if the government is not employing to really have people to have that room, space, offs and all these things, you'll be working across all the time. It has some effect on you. And sometimes your productivity even is affected. The equipment that they work with is also there. If the machines are obsolete, they are not working properly, it affects your productivity. So all these things can be looked into entirety, holistically. They would deal with the problem, the human problem, the equipment problem, the behavioral problem. So be able to deal with all these things. At the end of the day, the duty of care is on the patient. And we all look up to these professionals in our hospitals. So if the duty of care falls short, then we have not lived in the principles for His Nightingale and all those people who really brought this to us. We want to appeal to the union. These days, unionism is not about flexing of muscles. It's about dialogue. It's about how we cooperate to each other. I know, when they strike, yes, they have the right to strike. But if they do that, today, it is not your relative. Tomorrow, it can be your relative. And you're on strike and you are seeing your relative dying. How will you look at it? But these are matters that can be dialogue and work around it and make sure we're able to deal with the problem. So for me, I trust in the judgment of Professor Bayu. Quickly, he and his board should meet and engage this morning. Let us know, when are they striking?
Today.
Today?
Yeah. Yes.
So please, they should quickly do something before things get out of hand.
Okay. We'll check to see whether or not the strike is in session. But let's move on to talk about the minority stake on the BOG laws. They say that audited financial statement revealed an underlying loss of 44 billion, which is far higher than the 15 billion that BOG is reporting. Now, according to them, the true operating loss stood at 34.9 billion, and they argue that a smaller figure was achieved through accounting maneuvers and the sale of half of Ghana's gold reserves. They also note that 9.6 billion cedis of the reported operating income came from the gold sale, without which the bank would have posted a deficit of 4 billion cedis. The caucus further pointed to page 16 of the BOG's account, which showed an additional 19.3 billion loss in other comprehensive income. Combined with the headline figure, the minority said the true operating loss was 34.9 billion, and with the gold sale factored in, resulted in 44 billion loss. Let me start with you, because you are a finance person, and again, it sits with your government as well. Why report 15 when the true loss is 44?
And that is where I have the problem.
Okay.
Who said that?
Kojo Ponkruma, who is the...
and I know Kojo should be listening to me. Kojo was my coursemate back in UCC. We studied accounting together. I furthered to do ICA, so I'm a professional accountant.
Okay.
I'm a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, and I own an accounting firm myself.
Okay.
So for a colleague accountant to try to describe the accounting report of a financial institution like Bank of Ghana, an audited financial report. This is not even an internal management report. Audited by one of the 4 giants in our country of auditors, KPMG, that the bottom line as displayed by the Bank of Ghana audited financials of 15.6 shouldn't be the case, and that a certain 19.2 billion should have been ignored, and that another revenue from the sale of gold should also have been ignored. And I don't know whether my colleague has forgotten his accounting standard, but the truth is that accounting is a profession guided by statutes and standards. So for every financial accountant, and for that matter, an auditor, to come up with a financial statement, financial report, it must have complied with all these requirements. And the requirements are not just that. They tell us what to do, how to treat transactions before they come out as a report. So if today someone would want to challenge the IFRS, the International Financial Reporting Standards that Ghana has subscribed to, that the Institute of Chartered Accountants has adopted and we practice here in Ghana, it saddens me to read that. What is Bank of Ghana's role in our economy? The role of Bank of Ghana is to, per its act, to operate and regulate our financial sector so that we have price stability, so that we have exchange rate stability, so that we have economic growth, so that our interest rate regime is favorable for the private sector to thrive. These are, among others, are the key duties, mandates specified in the Act for a central bank to do. But when I was in secondary school, we taught us types of banks. Say commercial banks. Those days we used to have specialized banks, development banks, construction banks. Today, we have decided to put all together as universal banks. And they are being regulated by the central bank. The central bank duty role in our economy is not to make profit. We have not put Bank of Ghana there to go and trade, do business. In fact, in its own act, in this reporting strategy, to tell you that the business of the central bank is because we call it Bank of Ghana that we usually try to akin it to commercial or universal bank. It is a regulatory institution designated to perform a certain mandate for economic stability. So if today Bank of Ghana goes out there, operates, and does not generate any revenue at all, yes, and it can happen that based on what it is doing, it may not generate a single line of revenue. If that happens, are we saying Bank of Ghana should not operate? Because that means it is going to expand.
But is that what you're using to dispute his figures that he came up with?
Yes. Because Bank of Ghana must spend to get its objectives achieved. If the bottom line is depicting 15.2 million, and you say the 9.2 million, you know where? That will take us into account. He says it was incorporated into other comprehensive income, OCI. Accounting standard requires that when you, as a business, even as a commercial entity,
that's a 19.3 loss.
Goes into a transaction that is not core of your operation, you don't report it as an operating income. You report it as other operating income.
Say that again.
When you go into an activity, per chance, which is not part of your core operation duty, you don't report it as operating income, and that is it.
How do you report it?
You report it as other comprehensive income. But at that reporting level, when you have embarked on that, you sum up the revenue or gain you made, in addition to the losses or expenses you incurred, to put together a report as such. So in some cases, even though that line of report is usually called OCI, other comprehensive income, sometimes it can be negative. Because assuming you go into that activity and it gives you more expenditure than revenue, it will be negative.
But will we be told about that particular other operating income you're talking about?
So when you go, yeah, it is there. When you go into the notes supporting the financial report, the breakdown of all what is making up OCI is there. And that is where he is saying that we should take out the 19.3 alone. How would you want us to take that out and then recognize the expenses associated with it? They have even made the other one they made on the 9.7 or so billion from the sale of gold. The sale of gold didn't come just like that. It also came with expenses. Now they say we should take the accountants, the auditors, should take out that revenue and report only the associated expenses. How will you do that? Accounting thrives on double entry. For every debit, there should be a corresponding credit.
But did they say that?
That is what he's saying. By saying that, the loss is actually 44.4. It means add this without its net effect, add the other one also without its net effect and put together, you get 44 point something. Is that how we do accounting? It is telling me that I should recognize the losses, but I shouldn't recognize the gains or income that came with the loss, the expenses. Is that how we do accounting? And let them come and justify why they say that the audited financial that has put these positions on the lines are inaccurate. You can't say so. That is not how we do accounting. That is not how we report.
What he basically said was that the 9.6 billion of the reported operating income came from gold sale. You are okay with that, right?
Yes.
Without which the bank
it is reported.
Would have posted a deficit of 4 billion.
Good.
It says, when you look at page 16 of the BOG's account, it showed an additional 9.3 billion loss in other comprehensive income.
Good.
And you're saying that when you do businesses that is not part of your core mandate, that's how you capture it.
You put the expenses and the income that come with it together.
Okay, so they went into that business and they lost 19.3 billion, right? Okay. And it says, combined with the headline figure, the minority said the true operating loss was 34.9 billion, and with the gold sale factored in, resulted in 44 billion loss.
So what you say is that the gold sale to take it out of the revenue. Because when you take it out, you see, when it is included, it reduces the loss position to what it is. So when you take it out, then it will put you to...
But the BOG had some losses in the gold sale.
Yes, and they had gains too.
Okay.
It is not always when you go to the market, you make loss or gain. You are selling. Sometimes you make a gain. Sometimes you make a loss. But even the loss that came, the loss from gold sale is from gold deals. The actual gold sale gave them income. But the other deals that gave them loss, it is reported appropriately. So what they are saying here is that we should not recognize all those gains, but rather we should recognize the losses and declare. How will we record the one leg transaction in accounting? Anybody listening to me, Kojo is an accountant. If you record one leg of a transaction, where would the other leg go?
Okay.
So let us understand the whole issue of Bank of Ghana's report and realize, I'm looking at Bank of Ghana as an institution that we all know has not been mandated, it's not try on strict records to make revenue, but it is supposed to serve us. If we want to measure Bank of Ghana's performance should be measured by its achievement of the mandates. I take my child to school. I spend on you. Assuming in the whole of the 3 years in SHS, I spend 1 million cedis on you. What am I expecting from you in return? When you come back home after your study, I'm expecting that you get me A. I'll be happy. I forget about even my spending. But if you go out there, I spend that much on you, and at the end of your study, your result is free flight from France, FFF in change. Then it means I have not gotten anything.
But when did your posture change from the 2022 BOG losses where, I mean, you criticize the BOG, some even call for the resignation of the BOG governor.
Yes.
So now, when there's a loss and you say it is because their mandate is not to make profit.
The loss will come from the spending, and that spending should give a certain result.
Okay.
So when we have spent today, we have made a loss. But what has the loss given to Ghana? 3.5, and that is the mandate of Bank of Ghana to ensure price stability. Price stability, our inflation rate, as we speak, is 3.2%. So that is the result of the spending. Today, exchange rate is around 10.7. Even take it to 11 cedis per dollar. That is the result we have achieved from Bank of Ghana's spending.
But wasn't the inflation in 2022 54%?
So in 2024, we did spend. But what was the result? What was inflation rate? We ended the year with 23.8. What was exchange rate?
Isn't the effect of the spending in 2022 that brought us there?
No. You spend it. That's what this accounting is periodicity. What you spend in this year is measured against its income for the year. Okay. So the period you are reporting for must match. You must match all the revenues and the expenses for that particular period. Right. So if we spend in 2024 and got all these bad results, if high inflation rate, high CD depreciation, interest rates hovering around 35 to 40%, and today, Bank of Ghana has spent because it will always spend. In fact, if even it doesn't make any revenue, it will still spend. And the result from spending is 3.2% inflation rate, CD to dollar at 11 CDs. Interest rates have currently dropped up to 18%. Our economy is growing at 6%, then that is the measure we should take Bank of Ghana to. Okay. So we spend on our child, like any other institution, what result has it given to us? Are we okay? And look at how it even happened. Some of the expenses lines are as a result of the mess this government, this current governor inherited. A greater chunk was trying to mop out the excess liquidity from monies that were printed and pumped into our system that caused inflation to get up to a point of 54% in a time. How do you control inflation? One simple way is to do open market operation by trying to attract those who hold a lot of funds with interest rates so that they take the money out of their pockets, put it at the central bank. Okay. That comes at a cost. That is the interest. All these are what they call losses of Bank of Ghana. So if the Bank of Ghana has spent to stabilize our economy to achieve its mandates, then there's no cost to complain because Bank of Ghana was spent.
Titus Glover, he says there's no cost to complain because the targets are being achieved.
Kojo, it's worrying. Very sad. You see, when you use propaganda, deceit in opposition, and you win power, and you still want to thrive on that same trajectory, it becomes a problem. The way the NDC want to politicize the Bank of Ghana, it will hit us on the face. The minority is raising these flags because the NDC party machinery have to go and join their members of parliament in parliament to do a joint press conference, which could have been done by the Bank of Ghana themselves. If we don't kill this thing immediately, and want to politicize every state institution, it's a recipe for disaster. And we need to take ourselves out of this thing. Loss is a loss. We're not saying Bank of Ghana should not run losses. But some of the losses are avoidable. They are manageable. The Bank of Ghana Act, Section 58, where the audited account of the Bank of Ghana is transmitted to the finance minister, when it has been gazetted, you add a cover letter to it and present it to Parliament. Then you have party apparatchiks go and hold a press conference now telling the public when the institution itself have not even spoken. That is number one. Number two, the International Financial Reporting Standards, which has been the global style of reporting, will tell us that the cost that we're talking about is not the 15.6. So they have to use their own act, their style, Bank of Ghana, to present only one sided of the cost. And that is where the propaganda and the lies comes in. So that we'll take hook, line, and sinker that the cost that you have incurred is the 15.6, without the addition of the 19.3, including the cost that you incurred on the Bank of Ghana, the gold that you sold.
But he's explaining that you can't do that because of the...
Please. When you were saying to incur cost, in our time, we buy it directly. We don't buy it through any precious minerals. So you have incurred cost. Gold board has made profit and you have made cost.
So now when you go into
please,
you see all the
please,
some were bought out.
Please, when you were talking, I was quiet. Let me flow. And I will deal with the matter.
Okay.
Kojo, this is the problem. You have incurred costs totaling 44 billion cedis. Your net equity has ballooned from 53.54 to 94 billion. And you said we should clap for you? In as much as you want to mop out excess liquidity from the system, at our time we had an arrangement. And what was this arrangement? It was called I'm coming. Let me use the right word. Dynamic cash reserve ratio. Kojo, in this dynamic cash reserve ratio, what it means is that, normally when they collect these monies and they send it to the Bank of Ghana will hold 10%. And in this 10%, the 90% is given to commercial banks for them to trade and give loans to all these people. And there are some of these banks, they are not giving out the loans. They are not. All they are interested is government bills, treasury bills, comfortable. They don't want to take risks. So the government will pay them money so that they mop these excess money from that system. So you say, now look, under this dynamic cash reserve ratio, since you are not giving out these loans out, we'll hold part of this money at no cost. But when we see that you are trying to support the private sector, fledgling businesses and all these things, we'll release some of these monies to you, which is quite better than giving you the 90%. You're not going to give it to anybody, then you're only interested in government bills and come and think. It is not helping us. At the same time, the foreign monies that they have in the banks, they want them to have equivalent in cash. The banks were struggling in our time, so we should release. They don't want those things. We said, no, these are the ways that we can use to mop up these excess monies. When we left our power, they gave the monies back to them. So now the Bank of Ghana is using the commercial bank pay these open market operation costs to retrieve this and back for them. Whilst in our time, we're not incurring that. So the kind of debt that we incurred is quite minimal compared to what we are talking about. And our friends said they don't understand. It is an issue that we need to talk about. Today, you say what? Bank of Ghana must spend. I remember recently when Atu was in Parliament. He's saying that even giving a Bank of Ghana recapitalization is going to affect roads, it's going to affect schools, it's going to affect hospitals, so many government spending. So he's not going to do that. How come you are spending this colossal amount of money to mop up excess liquidity from the system? And let me tell you, we keep saying, you're an accountant. This inflation that you talk about that has dwindled to 3.2 or whatever, is artificial. It's aphrodisiac. Kojo, except that you live in mass, that you want us to believe that when you step out, the kind of electricity tariffs that you pay, the water tariffs that you pay, school fees that you pay, the market women are all sitting down with like this. People are not, because monies are not in the system for them to buy. Now you use AI to generate what they call it, duties at the port. Importers are crying. Customs agents are crying. And you say we should not talk. Look at what they've done to cocoa farmers. I'm having counts of cocoa growing areas. And I know the cocoa farmers are watching him. All of them, they are watching him. Today you have cut their head off like this. You can't pay them. And you say, what? You are streamlining the system? I totally disagree. I totally disagree. The position of the minority is clear. That you have incurred 44 billion cedis. Admit it. And let's move on. And we will give you the ideas as to how you can move away from the methodology that you are applying in mopping up the excess money at a huge cost. And this is what we are saying.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me bring in Vicky. The two politicians have spoken. Let's look at citizens. Now, we are being told that BOG got part of this cost because they had to mop up excess money from the system so that you can enjoy low inflationary rates. Some people are also complaining that, well, there's no money now, so even when we come to the market, they are not buying. Which is it for you? That the government would, or BOG would incur debt to manage inflation, or let the money be there, let us all spend it, let's make sure buying and selling is going on for you as an ordinary person?
Yes, I mean, I think, for me, I think we shouldn't look at these losses in isolation from the broader economic context. Because, yes, there have been losses, but we have to put them in context and also analyze them against the backdrop of the difficult economic period that we all went through in this country. The fact of the matter is that central banks in periods of economic stress take on financial strain. That's one of the things they do in order to stabilize systems. That is one of their jobs. If you're, as a central bank, you're trying to bring inflation down, you're trying to stabilize your currency, you're trying to restore confidence in the economy, because there was a lot of loss of confidence in our economy. These actions, whether you're doing it by tightening your monetary policy or intervening in the markets or providing liquidity, they all can and do come at a cost. There is a cost to all of that. So I think what we're seeing are losses, yes, but it's not simply a story of loss for me. I think it's a story of intervention. That's how I see it, where the central bank is effectively trying to absorb some of the pressure so that households and businesses feel less of it. We are still feeling pressure, but imagine what it would be like if they didn't do what they are doing. It would be worse than what we're feeling. Because when inflation is contained, when our cedi, our currency is stabilized, I think that then translates into some relief in food prices, in fuel costs, and in the cost of doing business. I think when you come to look at the gold, the use of assets like gold can also be viewed not just as a cushion, but as part of a broader strategy to build our reserves, which we are doing, strengthen our central bank's position, and support macroeconomic stability in the country. So the more important questions in my view, or the more important question in my view is, are these interventions working? That is the question that we should be focusing on. Are we seeing sustained declines in inflation? Are we seeing improved stability in the cedi? Are we seeing a more predictable environment for businesses to operate in? If the answer is yes, then we must recognize that these losses may well represent the cost of stabilizing the economy and not mismanagement by the central bank. That said, I believe transparency is also critical because even where the losses are justified, they must be clearly explained to Ghanaians so that we all understand it in order to maintain public confidence and avoid politicization of all these things because they affect us. So for me, the Bank of Ghana may be carrying or easing the burden so that we don't have to carry all of it. And if the losses are the price of stability, then I think Ghanaians should understand that.
Okay.
As long as it's transparent and as long as it's explained properly. I think it's simply the losses, I see them as simply the price of stabilizing the economy and restoring confidence.
But is this different from the expenditure in 2022 to move inflation from 54 to 23% or so that they got? Is it different? Is there a difference for you?
Yeah, I mean, is there a difference? I think there is a difference. You know, I think there is a difference because for me, if you look at what we went through as a country, I mean, it was not easy. Everybody felt it, from pensioners to every home felt it. People lost their lives as a result of it. And we have not been shaken as a nation economically in that kind of way as far as I can remember. I'm happy to be corrected. And so it was a, you know, what they call a black swan event. It was just like a tsunami on all of that. So it was a bit different.
Okay. Okay. Then bring in Mr. Alfred Money now. Yes. DOG losses.
Politicians are entitled to solve political points, and Ghanaians in generality also are entitled to be fed with objective information about what's happening at our central bank. And we should, I mean, it's kind of to believe that the two sides are trying to play political football with the Bank of Ghana. Ghanaians are entitled to the objective reality of what is happening. And this reinforces the need for the media community, especially those with a financial background, not only to humanize the issues, but also feed the public. It's where the truth lies. Journalism is about disseminating truth and not disseminating falsehood. So we are enjoined by the ethics of the profession, by our responsibility as wards of society, to look at these issues from perspective lenses and not partisan lessons. Because one may ask, fundamentally, is the Bank of Ghana now deviating from its core functions? Is the Bank of Ghana on course of maintaining monetary stability, controlling inflation, and overseeing the economy in totality? I mean, these are the questions the other Ghanaian who is not aligned to any of the political parties will ask. So the two main political parties, yes, you have every right to do your politicking, but this should inure to the interest of every Ghanaian, and we are begging that please say the issues as they are, and let the Ghanaian, other Ghanaian, to make informed judgment of what is happening at our central bank, because now many are confused. One issue is that the Bank of Ghana is incurring losses, and another issue is that some partisan mathematical formula was used to arrive at the 15.1 billion loss. But the majority has also come out to say that this has no relationship with the fact, no relationship with the fact. So yes, this is where I expect our financial journalists to come and set the record straight.
Okay.
Say it as it is, unencumbered by any partisan interest.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We have about 10 minutes to wrap up.
We on our side are not doing politics. The politicization of the Bank of Ghana was started by them. When their party apparatchiks have to join their MPs in Parliament to hold a press conference on behalf of the Bank of Ghana, they set the tone to politicize the functions and the roles of the Bank of Ghana. Far from that. We wanted the truth to be told, that the figures that you are quoting, the laws, you are hiding some of it. It is our duty as minority to let the Ghanaian know that it is not only 15.6 you have incurred lost, there is 19.3, and the gold that you sold, you incurred some losses as well. So altogether gives us the 44 billion that we are talking about. Again, you recall in 2022 when the DDEP program started, the Bank of Ghana stepped in. At that time, the money they spent total was about 60 billion. 48 billion alone went into the support of the DDEP program. But subsequently in 2023, the costs have to dwindle from 60 billion to 13.23 billion. In 2024, it dwindled drastically to 9.43. That is why we had that program of the dynamic cash ratio program in place. That instead of the commercial banks waiting for government treasury bills, they are so comfortable. They don't want to give out loans to entrepreneurs, private sector to drive this economy. They are comfortable just to wait for government bills. Then government will pay them the interest. It's a transfer of wealth from the Bank of Ghana to the commercial banks. Today they have made profits. Look at the reports. Most of the commercial banks have made profit because they don't want to root into high credit areas. And that's not what we're talking about.
Okay.
Because you moved away from this arrangement. That is why you are paying high costs to all these areas.
Kojo, please, let's set the record straight, please. There is no truth anywhere that the financial reports are concealing or hiding any figures. And I will be surprised if people who probably know financials who speak this go into the financials. In the financials report, we have what we call financial statements. These statements are in components, and every bit of the report making up the statement has what it does. Besides the statement for comprehensive income, which will tell you your income and your expenses to draw up the bottom line of balances, there are notes to the account. Every figure the minority have mentioned in their press conference, be it the 9.5, go into the notes and you'll find them there. So where are figures being hidden in the financial statement? Even on the face of it, the 33, whatever they are competing, you go down, read the financial statement. Unless you don't want to read the financial statement, which is a public document, then you say figures. So if you sit here or you stand anywhere, I've seen them that the figures are concealed. It's accounting gimmick. You're even attacking the accounting profession. That we are the auditors, KPMG, one of the 4 big audit firms in Ghana, are helping the Bank of Ghana to conceal figures. I don't know whether they can even take them on. And that is why, you see, as an auditor, as an accountant, the biggest risk you suffer, what we call audit risk, is for you to report something and somebody comes to say it is not so. For every auditor to sign an audit report to this level, you know the kind of work he would have done. So for people to say in the course of politics and media space or press conference as they do, look at Dr. Gideon Boakun also saying same. How much of accounting does he know? You did agric at secondary school. You did natural resources.
But doesn't matter.
And you are now attacking accounting profession.
But doesn't matter because people know. People start agriculture.
That is why. Do you know why he is PhD in? No, that is why he did agriculture. He's a former.
I will wish the Institute of Chartered Accountants to even come.
No, don't say that. Don't talk like that.
I
take a second to that. He did agriculture science. So as for background, don't even go there.
And that is why he's telling.
Don't go there.
That is why he's telling you that the sale of the goods should not be included in our revenue.
What are you saying? You are attacking because he's speaking his mind. No, you have attacked him.
But I think I asked you.
You must have tried to apologize.
You know me, as I said.
What are you talking about?
I didn't agree, so if you say he didn't agree.
No, but that, and so you can produce financial statement and
you saying that what he's saying doesn't make sense.
Yes.
KPMG has flagged your accounting.
Yes. But
they flagged it. In page 10, he flagged it.
What KPMG has signed.
They flagged it.
Dr. Gideon Boakun can say that it is accounting gimmick.
But if he understands,
it is concealment of facts. It is concealment. I wish our partner at KPMG.
That's a big accusation.
Yes. That's
KPMG is
they flagged it.
I wish you don't have to.
He's an authority. Please.
He's an authority. What is his background? He studied agric.
I said for an agric graduate to attack accounting report signed by KPMG. That it is concealing. That it is concealing because what would be your level of criticism?
If say tomorrow I have PhD in finance, I can critique the work you do.
You can critique, but I'm telling you, your critique will lack some basic things. I'm telling you.
I take a strong exception.
Especially in the field of accounting.
I think you must withdraw it.
No,
because he's his colleague in parliament.
Yes. I think
they are first-time MPs. You don't do that. You don't run down your colleague like that.
What have I said about?
What did you say?
What is his background?
The way you describe it.
Once again.
No, you can't say that.
Kojo, I think once again the ball is in the court of the media, objective media, to ferret the truth from the two versions.
Yes.
George Oyafi and Co.
Describe your colleague as a Greek graduate, so you can't speak of financial issues. He's an authority when it comes to that.
He didn't do anything.
It's not right. Sitting here as my junior, you think I can run him down?
No.
Please, let me talk. Please let me talk. As my junior, you think I can call you anyway?
Let us also not peddle.
No, please. I take a strong exception the way you are describing Gideon Boakun. How do you describe me like that?
How have I described him?
That is an agric person, so he did agric first, so he cannot.
I told you I studied agric. Yes. What you said, it looks as though an agric person cannot later become a finance guru.
I'm not saying finance. This is accounting. Accounting is different from finance.
But he's not. Doesn't he have?
No.
Doesn't he have a background in accounting?
No. Please, that I know.
He has not done anything.
No. This is accounting.
And he doesn't understand what is happening.
I forget about your understanding of what. But this is accounting report.
Okay. All right. We have a small time to end. Let's look at the law to criminalize sex for jobs. President Mahama says there should be stiffer punishment for corporate. I'll start this one from the lady.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the right direction of travel.
I'm giving you just a minute on this because our time is fast spent.
Okay, it's the right thing to do. I mean, I agree with him. A lot of men, primarily, I know abuse can be both ways, but a lot of men are abusing their positions. They behave as if they don't have children, female kids or nieces or whatever. So I think, since I don't have, I would have liked to have spent a lot of time on this, but since we don't have time.
Okay, let me give you another 30 seconds.
Okay, I'll say that. So I think because when a person in authority conditions employment on sex, I think it's a form of corruption, and we cannot tolerate that in a civilized society. Because when this happens, merit is undermined. You're giving someone a job because, and in some of our educational establishments, people are giving people first-class degrees, and they don't have a clue when they come out, simply because, of sex. And so for me, I'm very happy that the president has taken this stance. It is exploitative behavior. It is unacceptable. At the end of the day, I guess the test will be in how the law is actually structured. Because, in Ghana, we have a lot of beautiful laws. It's at the enforcement stage that the whole thing breaks down. So I want to end there because we don't have time to give my colleagues.
All right. It's a morning.
An opportunity.
Sex for jobs is a chronic moral national crisis which persists in so many workplaces. Certain people in positions of authority who are unrestrained by scruples will want to take advantage of ladies who are desperate for jobs to exploit them. Many workplaces have work ethics, so before the proposed law comes into fruition, we expect that the board of directors, the authorities of such workplaces, to activate such ethical laws to deal with such issues.
Okay.
And a local balance has said that as to advise the cat, they should also advise the stinking fish.
But that doesn't.
So there's a need. There's a need that then it is of utmost necessity to advise the cats and the stinking fish in equal measure, contextually. Ladies who also entice men, even offer their bodies for certain favors, should also be advised not to lead such men into temptation. We expect moral voices to be strident, to tackle this issue with all ferocity, with all tenacity, and with all intensity to ensure that our ladies are free from such pressures. No, we all know that joblessness is an issue.
Okay. All right.
But the ladies should also remember that your value is not defined by the work you do.
But do ladies come and tell the bosses that sleep with me and employ me? Do they do that?
Oh, some women go to a further extent. Yes, Kojo, I'm surprised. It's just some ladies who are desperation can lead you to so many things.
I haven't seen it before. That's why I wanted to find out.
Have you seen the other one? The men telling the...
Oh, we saw it in movies. They did.
How you say in movies?
It's probably rarer, for women to be so aggressive.
Or to offer themselves.
Yeah, it's usually men coercing. And, the saddest part of this is that it often happens behind closed doors. So there are no witnesses.
Yeah.
And these women are very vulnerable.
Okay. Yeah, Avo.
So I think sexual immorality is an issue society, our home, the family system should have been able to deal with. Our educational system, and probably, no, not even probably, highly expected of religion to have also dealt with it. But in all this, we're still having it on the rise to the extent that the president of the land is calling for an enactment to deal with this issue. I think it means from wherever the president has information, it's become a canker for us to go to. But when that is done, I know it will bring some sanity, provided we are able to get, as for evidence we can get. Now I know is what you call these are our gadgets for electronic means of communication. Some may happen. But another level of it is happening, which I know is not even set for job. These abuse of superior, subordinate, even in the offices already. Would that also fall under the person is already in the job, but because he is a female and naturally, as for me, I believe in women. I think this world even belongs to women. Women should be God. When I went to school and they taught me the values of what? Attributes of God. I ranked them. God is this. God is a kind. God is a caring. God. When I align all these attributes to my father and my mother, I'll find more of the attributes in my mother more than my father. So I think if God should be a human being, to me, it should be.
Okay.
Because women have allowed themselves for us to dominate.
Okay.
We are taking that undue advantage.
Okay.
And if society, education, and religion has not been able to deal with it, then the President Mahama is saying, law
must be the way. Okay. That's just 1 minute.
Kojo, for His Excellency the President's attention to be drawn to this matter, it means that it is becoming a problem.
Okay.
For him to speak, because this is there. This matter of these sex for work, sex for results and exams happens in schools. It's prevalent all over the place. Yeah. So for him to speak on this matter tells you that it's now becoming alarming. You see, the patriarchal influence of men over women has contributed to some of these things. And let me share quickly with you one of my experiences when I was a deputy minister. Sister, a lady walked to me in my office. When you look at, she wanted to come and see me. So the security walked in through my secretariat to my office. Her dressing itself was a problem. And when she sat before me, Kojo, we are on camera. She opened her legs. Quickly, I have to drive her out.
This indicates my point. Yeah.
I have to walk her out.
What you have not seen.
We didn't even start the conversation.
Wow.
I was there like she want to entice me or what kind of thing. Oh, Malegra, please just walk out. I don't know you from Adam. If she was sent by somebody to come and trap me, that day she failed. I'm saying this because,
what is she,
you see, she was coming to, I don't even know my sis. I don't even know. So the dress that she dressed in, and to sit down, and she does the thing so cleverly, you know, sitting down there, she open quite small and close it. Hey, don't try me. You see, so these are the kind of things that were happening. So if you're a weak man, you're not careful, before the conversation, you fall. Yeah. But you see, we need to be guided. You see, the quest for work by these young girls is out there. It is our duty, even if you cannot support her.
Okay, so I'll come back to you, but let me take you to St. Joseph's Anglican School, where students are just about entering, into the exams hall to write their BC. There you see it. They are preparing to go and write the exams. Wish them all the best. But you can see the schools they are wearing different uniforms because these are different schools that have gathered at the St. Joseph's Anglican School to write their basic education certificate examination. I will be bringing you much more details about these exams as we move on the show. So there you have it there. Yeah.
So this is a quick protocol, you know, and the Labour Act 651, Act 203 takes care of some of these sexual harassment and all that, you know. And the Criminal Offences Act, you go to Section 101 or so, forcibly entry of sex and all these blah, blah, blah. They takes care of it. But like she said, as for passage of the laws, we are good at that. But the enforcement, the implementation of these laws have always been a problem. So the president has spoken. He's at the top. It's not a duty of the president to come down to enforce these laws.
And right now, the laws are scattered. You know, we don't have the comprehensive law.
All right. Thank you very much. This one says, Kojo, contrary to the submissions advanced by Mr. Akufo-Addo, the said account were not prepared in full compliance with the International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, but rather in accordance with the bank's internal accounting policies. A position expressly flagged by the auditors and acknowledged by the bank's directors. It is this caveat that permitted the reclassification of significant losses, particularly foreign exchange revaluation losses, to other comprehensive income, OCI, thereby resulting in a reduction of the reported headline deficit. I think he condescended by calling into question Kojo Nkrumah's professional competence instead of dealing with the issues. Amazing convictions. Manche Bruce II in Takoradi brought this one in. Right? Thank you for being with us here on the show today. Victoria Bright is a former legal advisor to former President John Akufo-Addo, the Gentle Giant. She is a lawyer and an entrepreneur as well. Daniel Ni Kwate Tatos Glover is one Greater Accra Regional Minister. Kofi Bente Afol is MP for Sefi. We also and Afel Money is former President GJA. So once again, on behalf of all of us, we wish the BC candidate all the best. Bonwabo andama no me yedoko. Me say, nyamle huna bonwo. Ewo abe na ba aka bozuma. Na boko exam sinu a ba hele ba the questions eto. Bo paper mo a be nya abtare. Ma rashi kodikabela, ma pebero bompai. Na read the questions inu. Ankwa read more year ne a umakraka answer first. Na share to abotalunula na fakale midem de kasebotwa na botwa ebo na ba oba yunu. Nyamano na bezebo mo bo anda mu abon na bangala exam bangala boko mo no Ghana nyamano na bon na bodwa exam kama anti boss say izalane nyamano na bezebo abon. On behalf of the team, I say thank you for staying with us. We have a lot more coming your way here on the show. Just stick with us.
Across Ghana, in communities big and small, ordinary people are doing extraordinary things. This is the Joy News Impact Makers Awards 2026, celebrating those who are changing lives, shaping futures, and building hope. From Bimbila in the northern region, Faith Jakpasu is transforming classrooms through innovation, inclusive learning, and life-changing initiatives for students, teachers, and vulnerable communities. From Aflao in the Volta region, Felix Akakbo is building schools, supporting students, and investing in the future of an entire community. In health, from Winneba in the central region, Amos Ando is turning his personal battle with sickle cell into a national movement for awareness, prevention, and policy change. From Nkwanta in the Oti region, Bless Lantam is delivering life-changing healthcare to hard-to-reach communities, even in the face of conflict. From Insawamed Wejri in the eastern region, Antonio Say is restoring mobility, dignity, and opportunity through prosthetics and outreach across Ghana. From Adenta in the Greater Accra region, Valerie Ajatia is empowering amputees with hope, rehabilitation, and the courage to rebuild their lives. From Anyanui and Loga in the Volta region, Reverend Christian Valeto is rescuing, treating, and reintegrating neglected mental health patients back into society. From Akuse in the eastern region, Alberta Aite is mentoring, educating, and empowering over 1,000 girls to dream beyond limitations. From Breku in the central region, Isabella Akwabwa fighting period poverty and equipping women and girls with skills for independence. In Wash, from Sirigu in the Upper East region, Dr. Anthony Akunzule is improving livelihoods through clean water, education, and economic opportunities for women. From Akache in the Volta region, Senyor Bomita is transforming communities through schools, clean water, healthcare access, and youth empowerment. And for the Corporate Partner Award from the Cape Coast Youth Development Association is empowering thousands of young people through education, skills training, and community development. These are not just finalists. These are change makers. They are nation builders. They are Ghana's true heroes. Joy News Impact Makers Awards, celebrating ordinary people making extraordinary impacts. Who takes this home?
The 2026 Joy News Impact Makers Awards is brought to you by Ghana CEO Summit, a decade of leadership impact. Labadi Beach Hotel, Ayuda, Ghana's #1 services app. Abakun, Services Bebre, New Crystal Hospital, growing in good health. Sulas Enterprise, where quality meets affordability. Water Aid Ghana, change starts with water. Ghana Chamber of Mines.
Mothers give us everything: love, strength, and life itself. And it's time to give back. Joy FM
presents the Joy Mommy's Day Out.
Join us on Saturday,
May 9th,
for a day bursting with thrills. We'll have your day packed with irresistible activities like paddle boating on calm waters, an adrenaline rush with horseback riding, quad biking, exciting safari tour, friendly competitions such as dance contests, and wrap the prize, a chance to meet the mysterious Ujafokwa crocodile revered as the protector, and to top it all off, a delicious feast of local dishes and drinks, accompanied by the sensational sounds of the Ajinkoro Band. Come, let's crown our mothers with joy and adventure at the Crown Forest. For inquiries, call Lois on 059-1709-309. The Joy FM Crown Forest experience is proudly brought to you by the Crown Forest, where nature meets luxury. Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told by well-trained journalists. That's why you can't imagine news without Joy News.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on the Joy News channel. So, a Joy News hotline documentary by Erastus Asari Donko lays bare the scale of destruction unfolding in our forest reserves. Now, at least 44 out of Ghana's 288 reserves have been impacted by illegal mining, with over 5,000 hectares already lost. Now, the focus is the Tanonimri Forest Reserve in the Western North region, a once thriving ecosystem that supported livelihoods, timber production, and water sources, now under siege. The investigation reveals a troubling mix of weak enforcement, the involvement of politically exposed individuals, and both local and foreign actors driving this destruction despite clear laws prohibiting mining in the protected areas. Well, it also exposes the human and economic cost, polluted water bodies, violent confrontations, and long-term threats to Ghana's timber industry and environmental sustainability. Take a watch.
Forests are not just trees. They are homes, livelihoods, and cultures. They are the heartbeat of the earth. Like the pair of lungs in the human body, they regulate the climate, filter our water and the air we breathe, and provide a home for a vast array of plants and animal species. Sub-Saharan Africa has emerged as a prominent destination for mining activities due to its abundant mineral reserves. In Ghana, out of 288 forests, 44 of them are currently under siege by illegal miners scavenging for gold. Over 5,520 hectares, approximately 6,700 football fields of forest have already been attacked. This is Samreboy, a small town in the western region of Ghana. Its local economy, energy needs, water, and amenities has relied on Samatex, a timber and plywood company, for years. The company, set up in 1947, was known as the African Timber and Plywood Company under the UAC Group of Companies. Samatex Timber and Plywood Company Limited took over from AT&P in 1995. Samuel Danso is the Forest Planning and Protection Manager for Samatex.
Samatex is a timber company which relies solely on the production of timber or logs to feed the mills, to process them into other wood products such as plywood, lumber, veneer, and others for export mainly. You know, it provides a lot of foreign exchange for the country as well, including employment of close to 2,000 workforce.
The chief of Aboifie, Nana Ando Aka, is a living testament to this.
Hospital company there. Suyanom sabi ajana kura mpom yene abanya jana biawa. Inti individual bi na se osi oye ne fie kura na se jana wo ho company na ode le tractor na ni fidie de schools ne ye kwan kura mpom. Maybe na say issue tonan kwadai says company na momode amfam afidie bi antwaso a school kwadai kwa hu omo a obube.
The company has 14 timber concessions in forest reserves in the Awin municipality and Wasa-Memfi in the western and western north regions of Ghana. Just a few meters from Samreboy is this beautiful rainforest, the Tanonimri Forest Reserve. It has served as the company's major source of timber and the community's constant supply of natural resources for years.
You know, we have 3 big reserves. Tanonimre is one of them, including Yo-Yo and then Boyne River. So these are 3 major reserves that we have in terms of size and then the kind of timber that we get from these reserves. Right. We have species like mahogany, sapele, asamfina, wawa. It's a whole, every species, even including species that you'd have thought, you know, you would not find them here. So it tells you the kind of reserve that it is. It's a very rich reserve.
The Tanonimri Forest Reserve was gazetted in 1935 and vested in the President of the Republic of Ghana in trust for the Omanhene of Awin traditional area. It covers 205.9 square kilometers, equivalent to about 29,000 standard football fields. You could describe the relationship between the Tanonimri Forest Reserve, Samatex, Samreboy as symbiotic. They depend on each other. Trees are harvested to feed the company, employment is created, The company employs indigenes and reforests the reserve for the next felling cycle. And so opinion leaders of Samraboy like Alhaji Salisu Mohammed Abu understand the importance of the forest and the company to their existence.
It's a natural man made by God. So this particular forest, the destruction of forest will affect the climate of our country. That's not how God has given the climate to us, but we are destroying the forest and it will affect us in the near future.
The Forestry Commission carries out what we call stock surveys. And out of the results of the stock survey, some tree species are allocated to the contractor to remove only those species and leave the rest for the next felling cycle, which is 40 years. This natural forest, as we are talking about, sustains itself by relying on the seeds that has been produced from the overgrown and mature trees, which are lying on the vegetation floor. So after the felling, the canopy openings provide opportunity for the dominant seeds, which are on the forest floor, to germinate and grow into the individual diameter classes.
But this bond between Samatex, Tanonimri, and Samraboy was soon to face a survival test occasioned by a new wave of illegal invasions of forests for gold. Ghanaians used to mine with simple tools. However, between 2008 and 2013, the Ghanaian small-scale mining sector experienced a significant influx of Chinese miners with capital, equipment, and new mining technologies. With the connivance of powerful Ghanaians and under the protection of politically exposed individuals, notable forest reserves have come under attack by illegal mining. The situation got worse. Between 2017 and 2024, notable forest reserves like Apawasa, Apamprama, Tano Anua, Subri, Akosua, Tanonimre, equipment. What followed was a series of attacks on this valuable ecosystem.
They managed to evacuate, more or less flush out the first group that came. That was around August 2022. Before this group could take out their machinery from the forest reserve, Akonta Mining quickly took over the place, this time around with heavy armed personnel, claiming that they have a mining lease inside the Tanonimre forest reserves. But to the best of our knowledge, we knew such a thing had not happened, because as a major stakeholder, if the Forest Service Division wanted to give out such an area for mining, as a key stakeholder, having a concession there, would have been informed. So we were resolute that yes, they never had any. We did our checks, and truly there was nothing of that sort. But unfortunately, this company kept on. We don't know the kind of powers that they had. Nobody, all the authorities gave a deaf ear to all that they were doing, and they persisted to carry out those illegalities in the Tanonimre Forest Reserve.
For weeks, the Tanonimre Forest was plundered by Akonta Mining Limited, with no intervention from government or regulatory bodies. The unchecked destruction provoked resistance from residents, culminating in violent confrontations with the company's armed security. Gunshots were fired, a company vehicle was torched, and people were injured. According to Samuel Ajapon, second trustee of the Timber Workers Union of Samatex.
Press conference against Akonta Mining. Wabawura Tanonimre forest nimo opese ose forest no na yene union nso agigina mu se ye nhwe masade no enkoso efise nananom ade a anase mpanimfo ade a omudi agya ye maye ne akirima nso sese ye hwe so etine so ka se enye ono a na yentro ema ne nkrofo no bi krampo ebebetututu wa ha ema bi kan ye weka baako ɛma ne car crampo no ɛgya atɔ ne car mu a ɛsɛe.
Deputy National Director for Arocha Ghana, an environmental conservation and sustainability organization, Darrell Bosu, describes the invasion as a sad situation.
The Tano numeric case is one sad situation because we saw a government in power and persons connected to the government in power use that exposure and connection to have access to a forest reserve that was really thriving and one that was also providing significant services for communities close by. As we know, the Tano Numiri is a very important forest ecosystem, providing source of water connecting to the Tano and also supporting cocoa agricultural activities within the surrounding areas. But we saw how political collusion and also persons connected to Akonta mining, as we know and is on record, effectively had access to this forest reserve, sidestepping the role of the Forestry Commission, even sometimes using other armed gangs to intimidate Forestry Commission officials and having access to this forest, eventually mowing down the forest so they could mine in it.
We forced our way through fallen trees and thick undergrowth to reach illegal mining camps concealed deep within the Tanonimri Forest Reserve. Hundreds of gold-hungry miners were digging and washing the forest floor, tearing it apart from the inside out. These are artisanal miners armed with metal detectors, pumping machines, pickaxes, and shovels. They evade forest guards by navigating hidden routes through the reserve. And some even cross the Tano River on the blind side of their patrols to gain access. At first glance, they may seem easy to dismiss, but the scale of destruction they unleash is immense. In just few days, they bring down mature trees and leave lasting scars on the forest in their relentless quest for gold.
This guy and his team felled this tree. Come here and tell me. Stand here. Bejina ekwame na mfa so amutudua.
Acho ye de pick no. Ye boss ya from an bar not to.
So he says they use the pickaxe to gradually eat under the tree. E di na say ansa na matimi etu ase awi.
Okay, we were a 5 days etu.
He's saying that at least 5 days it takes them to eat under this tree gradually, and then it goes down.
Some of them run when they see us. Some, they play hide and seek. The same way they play hide and seek with the forest guards. Others ignore us and continue with their work.
Who owns this site?
Who owns this site? Probably we may not know because we are newcomers at this place, so we cannot probably tell.
Who do you work for?
Who do we work for? The one who is our leader is not in.
What is his name?
Actually, I don't know his name. I came later part of it, so his name I don't particularly know. But probably we call him Malam.
Malam?
Yeah.
So you are responsible for all the felling of all these trees?
Not actually, because a lot of people have worked at this place and then they left. Not only
also came to work.
Yeah, and even for us, we are even doing recycling. Not just that maybe we are working, because all what is left and then we are now doing, you can see that all over the place is now covered by swamp. So it is not a real land that we are now taking.
But you're also deepening the devastation. You are digging, you are washing, and all these things go into the environment.
For washing we does, but actually it is not us that did all those work that is here.
So I can confidently say that what you're doing here is illegal.
Okay, you can say that, but for the fact that you happen to come and then we are also here working, probably you can say that. Yeah.
What is this? How would you describe what you're doing here?
Okay, this is shooting is small legal mining that we are doing. Yeah.
Did you say legal?
Okay, fine. So this is small. Okay, sometimes the reason why I say so is that.
So describe it for me. What is this?
Like the one we are doing here. It is small illegal mining. Sometimes when there are people around this place, we normally tell them the truth. You know, when you come to Galamsey and then you have to catch the co-workers, it doesn't probably mean that they are the people that is influencing the what? The illegal mining. But the people sitting in their house, particularly for the land, or they normally introduce the land for you, they are the very people that enhance the what? The destruction, not we, the co-workers.
I see. Yeah, I start see kakra na de ko topo. Yeah, na
tinyani na mwana muchai.
Bias no omo iska omo mfa operators no mo twa no gu mai na sas na free na adwuma.
Hamunya gold.
Adwuma iska pa ba obi wu ase na free ase. Idua bukum ni pa ba kun ase na de free ase.
So I was asking him who caused this whole devastation here, all the trees that are lying down flat here, and he says it's them, they did it. And he says yes, the buyers, and the buyers refer to the gold buyers, those who have money to buy the gold from them when they are done. They are the ones who hired operators. By operators, it means those with dormer machines to cut down the trees for them so they can work. And he says they got a lot of money here, but...
And wrote statements, but no significant action was taken. The company removed its equipment and evidence from the site. Initially, the owner of the company, Bernard Enchubusiakon, said he had a license to mine in the forest. The Lands Ministry issued a statement debunking that. Then in 2025, the Minerals Commission issued a statement indicating no such license was given to the company. After the change of government in 2025, fresh waves of illegal mining were recorded. In the Awin municipality, individuals identified as activists of the ruling National Democratic Congress invaded sections of the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve, further compounding its woes. The illicit gold mining industry is highly profitable, particularly when gold prices surge on the global market. In fact, illegal mining operations situated in forest reserves can generate over 500,000 Ghana cedis daily, equivalent to about $46,309.39 US. This creates bloody confrontations even between rival illegal mining gangs, as witnessed early this year in the Tano Anua Forest Reserve, where 2 people were killed.
This is the continuous degradation of the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve. What you're seeing here goes over 12 football fields of devastation caused by illegal miners who are pillaging this great resource.
After almost 3 years, the owner of Akonta Mining Limited, Bernard Enchubusiakon, was arrested by the Economic and Organized Crime Office for questioning on Tuesday, 27th May 2025.
You know, the story of the Nimre Forest is really, it describes the precarious and dangerous nature, how powerful people who are engaging in this criminal act are. You know, there was invasion. The whole world knew it. The reports were there. The investigation revealed it. The CID had all the report. Guess what happened? It was shelved. Why was it shelved? It was shelved because there was no political will. We came, we embarked on the same process. The evidence was clear. We made a major case to the people of Ghana, show them video evidence, challenge the legal authorities, and the Attorney General obviously took steps and with the investigators, and they finally arrested the perpetrators and charged them.
Continuous degradation of forests like Tano Nimre has climate consequences. Heat conditions,
unreliable rainfall patterns, and food insecurity.
The increasing pressures of vulnerabilities associated with surface warming connected to climate change and global warming, it makes our forest reserve even more important. Our forest reserve, as you all know, are also the headwaters for all the rivers and streams that we have in this country. So to secure water for our people, to guarantee food security, to also ensure the well-being of people in where these forest reserves are, and to maintain a convenient or conducive microclimate to support other well-being related issues, our forest reserve must be protected than ever before.
We are coming up with a design of a camp system where we set up camps, and we would have forest guards living in groups because there's strength in numbers. The current situation, you have forest guards hiring accommodation, private accommodation within the communities. So you can imagine if your landlord's son is involved in illegal mining, whether you could actually go out and effect arrest. And then we are also trying to have a situation where we effect a review of the Forestry Commission Act for the Forestry Commission to be duly recognized legally as a paramilitary institution, which will allow us to be able to import the right ammunition, etc., to be able to defend and protect this forest. We believe that that is a significant paradigm shift, which, if done, would make the Commission more effective in protecting these valuable resources.
Many years ago, Ghana took a stand, and the policy was that at least 25% of the land or the forest will be reserved for environmental protection as well as other benefits that we can derive from forests. And that is what happened. And I think that that should be maintained. And mining can take place elsewhere. Or you adopt a mining method that definitely it will never be compatible with forestry, no. But that will be less destructive, and that will concentrate the timber production activities within designated areas and not allow mining, to come in at all.
We shouldn't rely on the kind of money that we will get in a day, and tomorrow we cannot guarantee that same money. Because the gold, once you extract it, the soil or the vegetation is gone. But with the timber, we can manage it. We have managed it as a company, Samates, for the past 30 years. It had been managed before Samates took over. It tells you the span that yes, the forest as it is, if we manage it well, we will be able to get the needed resources and provide the benefit to our communities and the country for a very long time. Unlike the gold that we think we extract it today, we cannot get, and then we lose all the valuable opportunities that we have, and it will be gone.
Ghana can take advantage of the global carbon system to restore degraded lands, as captured by Emmanuel Ngunza, an environmental journalist and a 2025 fellow with RSF Reporters Without Borders, Germany.
I think there is a really good opportunity here for Ghana, where illegal gold mining has decimated over 5,000 hectares of forests. It is called the Paris Agreement, and particularly Article 6, which can be a real good redemption. The country can utilize this framework to fund forest reclamation, ensuring local communities benefit fully, and also by learning from mistakes made by East African countries that we've seen, ensuring that human rights are really at the core and center of indigenous wisdom, which leads the way. And also by avoiding displacement and revenue mismanagement seen in countries like Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania. Ghana can then prioritize community-led restoration and fair profit sharing, so these forests can reclaim their breath and their keepers, their future, which we knew.
Tree for Life initiative, reclamation, replanting. But we are not going to replant to allow these bad guys to go back and continue decimating. Strengthen enforcement, deploy permanently, strengthen the Forestry Commission officers, and give them the things they need to continue fighting it. Provide the alternative and educate the people of Ghana. We are going to do all of that.
For now, with the help of the Samatex Timber Company,
the Rapid Response Team of the Forestry Commission conducts daily patrols to protect the Tanonimire Forest Reserve. Amid the distraction, there is still hope. Consistent reporting, the vigilance of civil society, the courage of public-spirited Ghanaians, and the interventions of security agencies have helped eliminate some major illegal mining hotspots, preserving significant portions of the forest. But hope is not enough. Ghana must urgently declare critical biodiversity zones and water bodies as protected security areas, with permanent security presence established along forest frontiers. Only then can we safeguard these natural treasures for future generations.
Also, exactly how our forests are under siege. Now, let's engage Samuel Danso, who is Forest Planning and Protection Manager, Samatex, and as well, Awula Sewa is an environmental activist and coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens. And I'll start with you, Samuel. Good morning. Of course, you're in that documentary. You've as well seen it. Sometimes when you're in there, you probably don't even appreciate the depth of the issue. Sitting back and watching now, tell me, if we don't do anything about this irreversible ecological damage, what exactly are we in for as a country?
Thank you, Joy News. In the first place, let me say a special thanks to NIMOS and the IGP Special Task Force on Galamsey. Due to their activities, we now have a respite from these large-scale Galamsey operators in Tanonimire. For now, you cannot find any excavators or these large plants in the reserve due to their efforts. And also to multimedia group of companies, you know, the kind of advocacy that you have brought to bear to the authorities and then the society at large about the destructive effects of Galamsey on our environment. You deserve commendation. You know, once those places were opened up by these large-scale Galamseyers, it has, although they've been driven out, but it has opened up the place for these guys that we call dig and wash.
Okay.
These are individuals who come in with pumping machines and other implements to continue. So as we speak, we have a respite from the large-scale guys. We're still grappling with the individual Galamsey guys who are all over the place. So that is an area we need to look at. You know, currently the Rapid Response Team of the Forestry Commission, they are doing their possible best to curtail the situation. But it seems it's not enough to handle these individual groups that enter the reserve to cause the destruction. So we need to take a critical look at such an area. Okay. Coming back to your question, you know, it is so heartwarming to see this kind of attention being drawn to an area like Samra. It gives me hope that yes, when we put our efforts together, the needed results will be achieved. Had it not been this documentary or publicity by Joy News, the forest would have been gone by now as you speak in 2026, because especially in 2024, the kind of distractions that we were seen in Tanonumre, by now, if it had continued, the whole forest would have been gone. So thank you so much, Joy News, for the opportunity to save our forest. Thank you.
So I like to think that Summertex as well, you have invested largely. I'm going to go to Aula Sewa, and when I come back to you, your question will be, what's the real financial cost? I mean, for decades, you have been investing in trying to sustain our environment. But currently, how much do you anticipate that if we must attempt to reverse this amount of destruction, will cost us, or how much have you been spending? But I'll go to Aula Sewa. Aula Sewa, good morning, and thank you for staying with us all through. First of all, do you feel tired? Do you feel hurt by the government? Are you still motivated to talk about the destruction of our environment?
Good morning to you and your listeners. And I echo to the producers of the documentary, my brother Erastus Donko, and all those who have worked on it. And I echo to all the journalists putting their lives on the line to protect our environment. I have to say that for us, it's not an option. We need to continue doing our best to protect the environment. But I wonder if we are dealing with a failed state, because we all knew what was happening in the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. It wasn't a secret. Joy News had covered the devastation. We knew what was going on. The lands minister, everybody knew. So why could Akonta mining not be stopped? Because they were politically exposed, because they were close to the past administration, so that meant they could just destroy the environment. This is unsettling, and I have to say that even as we speak, our forests are still under siege. It's like musical chairs. Another set of people have come, and they think Eshewono. So we have to stand up as a people and ask ourselves, we want to not only destroy the forests for ourselves, but what about the next generation? We'll be known as the generation that sat by and allowed the forest to be decimated. And I have to commend the Forestry Commission, NAMOS, and all those who are doing the best. But I have to say that they have to be better resourced. I agree with the Forestry Commission that they must have paramilitary status so that they can have the right equipment to protect themselves and the forest. For example, they need bulletproof vests. I know of forestry guards who have been shot. I know at least one has been killed. So we cannot expect them to protect our forest reserves and not equip them. So there's a lot that needs to be done. And I need to add that the Atiwa Forest Range, Atiwa Forest Reserve, is being decimated. I know NAMOS has done a swoop. They've been there, but the illegal miners return. And that is why we are saying that it must be declared a national park. Looking at the legacy, it was designated a forest reserve with the help of Oforiata in 1926. 100 years have passed and it's being decimated. We need to sit up, protect it, declare it a national
emergency. Park. Okay, I will go to Samuel. When I come back to you, what do you think is a real gap? The existence of our laws, are they enough? Are they deterrent enough? Or it's just a matter of enforcement? Because, I mean, you have just cited NIMOS, you've cited other agencies that are trying their best. Is it that just to casually look at the gap, the laws, it's not enough to want to deter a person that if I engage in any form of destruction, this is the punishment? Should we look at the laws, or we should just focus on the enforcement? I'll go to Samuel. When I come back to you, I'll take the answer for that. But Samuel, if you recall your question about the cost of this destruction.
Yes. Hello. From the look of things, actually, I will not be able to give you an exact figure. But let me take it from this point of view. You know, Samates is part of the free zone enclave for the export of processed lumber. And, you know, our main source of raw material is the timber that we harvest from the forests. So every company, as it is, will draw our business plan, you get it, based on the resources that we know we have it in the forest. And for now, those trees are gone.
Yeah.
Like I initially said, it was just a matter of time. This company would have collapsed. And all the beautiful benefits that we were providing for the society, this community, would have come to a halt. Thanks to like I said, we had having a respite from the large-scale guys who were destroying the forest. And to add that to, when these illegalities began to take shape, management had to acquire 2 brand new pickups to augment the Enchi Forest District by way of protecting the forest. They were under-resourced. So management has to cost such huge amount of money to provide those equipment to help them to fight the menace. At the same time, we've also have to employ concession guards. They will be able to give us intel as to how people are able to invade the forest, and then we'll then relay such information to the Forestry Commission to take the necessary actions. And these are all costs, at the moment, as we have a lot of them on our payroll. Based on all these
that's a real cost over there, very tangible cost. I'll come to you, but Erastus has just joined us. I'll come to you for the answer to my question. But Erastus, good that we have you. After years of investigating, after years of documenting all these challenges, where really is the gap? At what point would you say that the accountability is really breaking apart? Where?
Very much. And I must say, before I even begin, that we have received threats upon threats because we demanded accountability for what was happening in that forest reserve. It was a pristine reserve. Aside the cost to Samatex, it was providing a lot of resources to the local indigents in Samreboy, our Win municipality, and the rest. Even as we speak, even when we have served notice 3 years back to the production of this documentary, we have some elements within the former administration calling us and issuing threats and insults and others that we are trying to help a court case in this particular matter. That is why we are doing the documentary this time around. No. We have served notice. We have requested for reaction from Chairman to me himself and his aides. I have evidence of that. They did not respond. And so we had to go ahead because what we were doing started way back in 2023, 2022. Now, back to this. We have done this consistently for a very long time. The man you see in there has suffered so much, physical threats, everything. But he stood in his tracks and decided that he was going to protect this valuable resource. We don't have support from anybody, depending on which government is in power. But I must say and commend the Inspector General of Police. He set up a task force. When we put this forest into perspective, we are coming up with another documentary on Tanwanya. That's another forest under siege. And he set up a task force. They were able to move over 100 excavators from this forest. They are currently assembled in Samreboy. But we are not out of the woods. We have dig and wash people on the ground. They can move over 5 trees in a week. And they are now constantly raiding the forest because somebody decided that we can raid this forest and nobody will do anything to us. I'm happy.
What do you think? What do you think? We can raid this forest and nobody will do anything to us. What do you think is giving them that muscle? What's really giving them that impudence?
We started the crusade against Chairman to me and his Akonta mining company way back in 2022. What happened to him during that period? Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Because he controlled everything. He had the power behind him. Remember, the former president came to defend him. If the former president is defending some illegality that you are committing, that everybody knows, that the lands ministry at the time issued a statement to condemn it and said you had no right to enter the Tano Nimri Forest Reserve. Yet, no arrest, nothing. We filed a case, myself and lawyer Samson Anyenini, at the National CID. At a point in time, they were asking me, to go and provide evidence that he's the one who was mining in the forest. I said, please. That's why you are clothed with all the resources to go there and find out. I have done a journalistic duty. If you need more information, why don't you go on the ground? It's not beyond the National CID to investigate. But they didn't. How many years now till date? Until the government changed. And now they arrested him. And then you have a number of party affiliates going forward and massing up and saying you are taunting him politically. Seriously. So it tells you the impunity when people have power.
Yeah.
And they think that they can manipulate the power to their advantage, to the extent that they can destroy a whole resource and nothing will happen to them. Similarly, something like that happened in 2018. The destruction of the Pamprama Forest Reserve, started by Heritage Imperial Company Limited. What happened to members of that company? Nothing until date. Nobody has been arrested. But 50% of that forest is gone. So the impunity, knowing very well that we have powerful friends behind us, they will motivate us. Even when we are arrested, they will follow up. And so I am monitoring this court case very keenly.
Yeah.
To see what will happen.
I am indeed monitoring with you, Rasta. Stay with me.
Especially when we have this evidence and everything against.
Let me go to Awulasa, and when I come back to you, I heard you say that hope is not enough. But for those watching us today who have just seen this documentary and the amount of work you're putting in this, if hope is not enough, what kind of expectation or how long do you think if we put our feet to ground, we can get some results at all? And what kind of hope, at least, would you give to those who are watching us today? But I will, just when I went ahead to other colleague or other panelists on this conversation, I was asking you, where does the gap really exist? Are the laws enough? Is it enforcement? Because, of course, we've seen NIMOS and other investigative bodies do what they can do. But just when you look at the laws, if a person just imagines going to engage in any form of illegal mining and they hear about the law, would it scare them enough?
You see, our problem is the lack of political will. It's about enforcement. Which new law has been passed before Chairman Wontumi was arrested? No new law was passed. The existing laws are what are being used to prosecute him. It was just a lack of political will. As has already been said, he was well connected. The former president came to defend him, and nothing happened to him. We also will have to hold the former CEO of Forestry Commission accountable. What were they doing? Everybody was just sitting by, watching the forest being decimated. And I have to commend Joy and other journalists who have consistently been doing their best to raise awareness. But at the end of the day, after you've raised awareness, if the duty bearers refuse to act, then what? So what I would say is that it's about enforcement. Everywhere you go in Ghana, where's the enforcement? You look at building regulations, where's the enforcement? As we speak, people are building on our wetlands. They are well connected. We don't do anything about it. Look at the Kweshi Lagoon. So it's all about enforcement. There's noise pollution. What is being done about it? We don't close down institutions that are making noise. So I'm saying that we can stop illegal mining today if the political will is there.
Okay.
I'm sorry about the degradation, but we can stop further degradation if the political will is there, and it's not about musical chairs.
Okay. Erastus, what measurable results do you think, beyond hope, we can expect the public, those watching us this morning?
When we started 2025, there were quite a number of forest reserves within the Awuin enclave under siege. Tano Anwea, Tano Nimre, Yoyo, Boyne River, and the others. Thanks to the IGP, like I said, thanks to NIMOS, the Venerable Colonel Boa, who leads that team, and thanks to other agencies who supported the Forestry Commission, I must commend them. With little resources, they were able to work. They have been demanding a paramilitary status for a very long time. We all know that's the best way to go. You have a forest manager who sits with cutlasses and bicycles to manage vast forest resources against people who have pump action and assault rifles.
Yeah.
If the government is serious about fighting this canker, why do you even wait for the Forestry Commission to ask for a paramilitary status? You arm them. Then they will complement the efforts of NIMOS in protecting our forest reserve. Then you can hold them accountable and say, I have provided you with all the resources. I need to know if Galamsey is happening in any forest reserve, I hold your neck. That has not been done. We, the people, must demand accountability. We don't have to sit on the fence and be talking every day. We need the clergy to stand up. We need the TUC to stand up. We need the Ghana Medical Association to stand up, because this has medical implications, if I should take you down there. The media, some of us have laid on the fence and we are relying on people to go into the hinterlands and bring the information and then rely and do interviews. No. Let's devote a chunk of our time to talking about the degradation that is going on. And I think that if we do that, we will be achieving the best results that we ever yearned for.
Erastus, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Erastus Asare-Donkor is an environmental journalist and the producer of this current hotline documentary, Forest Under Siege. We also had Samuel Danso, Forest Planning and Protection Manager, Samotex, who as well has suffered enough. And Awula Sewa says that she would not stop talking about this. She is environmental activist and coordinator for Eco-Conscious Citizens. Please stay here watching the AM show.
Traveled to Dubai to go find greener pastures. Then I found this one friend of mine who actually helped me. So I was just into this kind of Chinese company thing. Yeah. But it got to a time that the Chinese company work broke down. So I had no choice than to look for another country to go settle so I can find more money to help home. So as they told her, they said stewardship, and they called for a roll call. So like, which kind of stewardship roll call thing? So we all came out, and a commander came. They said we are waiting for a commander. He came, he was a Ghanaian. We were 54 in numbers, whereby we were being dressed to move to the front line. At that time, we were lucky enough that it was snowing. So the snow actually helped us a little. Yeah, you can choose snow with a mix of sand. With the 1st battalion, you have to be fit before you get there. And with that, you are dodging drone, you are dodging landmines, you are dodging long distance missiles, you are dodging bullets, you are dodging grenades.
Hey, so you knew you were going to die then?
For every sacrifice.
Hey, darling.
Close your eyes, baby. Every silent prayer.
Wow.
Thank you for being a wonderful moment.
Thank you.
I'm sure you love it. She gave her all. Now it's your turn to give back something precious.
For everything you are and all things you do. Happy Mother's Day, love.
Oh, thank you.
This Mother's Day, celebrate her with something as precious as she is. Gold bought jewelry, pure, precious, proudly Guinean.
So don't be like Pharaoh. Don't harden your hearts, please. Mother's Day is just a few days, and the Gold Ball Jewelry is coming up with a good one that at least will make it easy for you. And this morning, I'm joined by Adjoa Ampama Smith. She is Senior Supervisor Marketing at the Gold Ball Jewelry. Hello. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, it's a pleasure. When I see you, like you're coming with some good news.
So I come with good news.
Tell me, Mother's Day is coming up. What do you have for us?
Yes, so this Mother's Day, we are telling people to be intentional about how they celebrate mothers, because mothers are that special. They sacrifice a lot, they do a lot for everybody, and they push themselves to the background. So why don't we treat them well this Mother's Day? So you can treat them to very nice jewelry pieces, because jewelry lasts forever. It has emotional value and it gives you security as well, because you can pass it on, you can trade it for cash, you can do anything you want with jewelry. So we are saying that give your mothers beautiful pieces this Mother's Day. And also, if she has some old pieces that you want to upgrade for her, you can bring it to us and we will do that for you.
Oh, that's really nice. And
yes, and if you have your pieces you want to polish, you want to repair, we are giving 20% discount on all that. So
okay, even when you bring your old jewelry
yes.
and then you want it polished or repaired.
Yes.
What's the difference though?
Okay.
Repair means baby ebu.
Okay. And then we have remolding too. That is when you melt the piece to make an entirely different one. That is remolding. We will do that for you.
Offer lasts between when to when?
From now to the 12th of May.
So you feel like 2 days after Mother's Day.
Yes, 2 days
so
after Mother's Day.
So those who still have hard hats, they can soften it and at least come in. Oh, that's really, really great. But what makes, I mean, there are many jewelry outlets over there. What makes yours very outstanding? What's the real craftsmanship behind it?
Yes, so when it comes to gold ball jewelry, authenticity is always assured. When we tell you that we are giving you an 18 karat jewelry, it is indeed 18 karat you are getting.
Okay.
If we tell you we are giving you a diamond, it is a diamond you are getting. And our finishing is top notch. We don't just crimp the pieces together. We make sure that they are well soldered, they are well put together. So yes, when you come to gold ball jewelry, you always get the best and you get value for your money.
Do you have enough for everybody that will rush? Because you know Ghana, we love our mothers.
Yes, we have enough for everybody, every budget. Whatever, just come.
Where should we come?
Come to our showroom. You can find us in Tema, Osu, Spintex, East Legon, Kumasi. So just reach us on 05558 10005. 05558 10005. And if you don't want to walk into our showroom, so you can visit our e-commerce platform, jewelry.goldball.gov.gh. And if you don't know what to choose, you think it's very difficult, we have gift vouchers that you can buy and then let the person come in and choose the piece they want.
I think you and the team over the Emefa are doing a great job at the Gold Ball Jewelry. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is good news. So please contact them and get a gift for your mother. Ajwa, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Please, you know that there's no Monday if we don't have the trends and the deal. They're here. Stay.
Cadbury hot chocolate, crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy, chocolatey, frothy goodness, rich taste, so satisfying.
Cadbury goodness, the treat you deserve every day.
Across Ghana, in communities big and small, ordinary people are doing extraordinary things. This is the Joy News Impact Makers Awards 2026, celebrating those who are changing lives, shaping futures, and building hope. From Bimbila in the northern region, Faith Jakpasu is transforming classrooms through innovation, inclusive learning, and life-changing initiatives for students, teachers, and vulnerable communities. From Aflao in the Volta region, Felix Akakpo is building schools, supporting students, and investing in the future of an entire community. In health, from Winneba in the central region, Amos Ando is turning his personal battle with sickle cell into a national movement for awareness, prevention, and policy change. From Nkwanta in the Oti region, Bless Lantam is delivering life-changing healthcare to hard-to-reach communities, even in the face of conflict. From Insawamed Wedri in the eastern region, Antonio Say is restoring mobility, dignity, and opportunity through prosthetic athletics, and outreach across Ghana. From Adenta in the Greater Accra region, Valerie Ajatia is empowering amputees with hope, rehabilitation, and the courage to rebuild their lives. From Anyanui and Noga in the Volta region, Reverend Christian Valeto is rescuing, treating, and reintegrating neglected mental health patients back into society. From Akose in the Eastern region, Alberta Aite is mentoring, educating, and empowering over 1,000 girls to dream beyond limitations. From Singabreku in the Central region, Isabella Akwabwa fighting period poverty and equipping women and girls with skills for independence. In Wash, from Sirigu in the Upper East region, Dr. Anthony Akunzele is improving livelihoods through clean water, education, and economic opportunities for women. From Akache in the Volta region, Senior Bomita is transforming communities through schools, clean water, healthcare access, and youth empowerment. And for the Corporate Partner Award from the Cape Coast Youth Development Association is empowering thousands of young people through education, skills training, and community development. These are not just finalists. These are change makers. They are nation builders. They are Ghana's true heroes. Joy News Impact Makers Awards, celebrating ordinary people making extraordinary impacts. Who takes this home?
The 2026 Joy News Impact Makers Awards is brought to you by Ghana CEO Summit, a decade of leadership impact. Labadi Beach Hotel, Ayuda, Ghana's #1 services app. Abakun, Services Bebre, New Crystal Hospital, growing in good health. Sulas Enterprise, where quality meets affordability. Water Aid Ghana, change starts with water. Ghana Chamber of Mines.
Pace. There is no margin for error. So much here is familiar.
Over 1,900 games brought us here.
There is not a sporting heat quite like this.
But history doesn't care about the journey.
The Premier League is the best league in the world.
La Liga is far and beyond the biggest winner.
It only remembers how it ends.
You bought it. It's not a word. You bought it.
8 titles. 1 month of mayhem to decide them all.
Outstanding from Patrick Dorgan.
Stay connected and watch DSTV to catch the football season finale this May. It's on.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,000 247.
Hey, Abili, wabadim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind the ATM card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered across to our customers this morning.
Confirm if this is your bank account 100,100,100.
Thanks for sending your bank card details.
Send the OTP now to avoid cancellation.
EcoBank will never call, email, send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Don't get played. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hello, please, I'm calling from Customer Experience Center.
Good morning, my name is Derek Elom Ashilivi, and we do this every morning with a beautiful
Jacqueline and Suma Iabwa.
Jackie, when we come, what's the point of you being here? What do we do?
Well, when we come here this morning, we're bringing you all the news that you might have missed during the weekend. And of course, from Friday till now, a lot of things transpired, which you might have not heard because probably you were resting and trying to chill this weekend. But we are here to do justice to that. Derek.
Solid. The first story is pay half or go home. What's the story? A police officer in the Abradunkwa vicinity was caught on tape taking some notes from illegal miners.
Yeah.
And it was quite, disturbing because he's supposed to be fighting Galamsey.
He's in uniform.
In uniform.
Yeah.
And people are wondering, in fact, if you look at the video and you sense his tone, which you'll be seeing pretty surely on your screen, you notice that it's almost as if he comes every time to
like
take.
They know him. He's a familiar face.
Yeah, because on a regular illegal manner when probably sees the police would bolt into the bush. But it's like a buy or an idea moon and so on. So 2.5. Or you go home. You know, it got people really talking. And of course, when stuff like this happens, social media goes berserk. Jackie, what are people saying?
Let me read. Bedan says that what if he's not a proper police officer in case he's just wearing the uniform?
This is important because just last week we found out that some people had clad themselves as NIMOS and had gone to some of the sites, and people are saying that no, they are not NIMOS, you know, so it could be, you know.
It could be, but we don't know. And Kwame says that this reminds me of the popular trend of an old man who said the government can never stop Galamsey at all. And the last comment here says that, so wasn't he aware that they were filming him? Because it doesn't look like the one filming was doing that secretly. Let me pick one last one here. So Alpha Sen said that Ghana's biggest problem is hypocrisy. Everyone pretends to be a religious person, yet turn around to commit crimes, while others who benefit refuse to call them out. Even if it's at the expense of Ghana.
In fact, this is a big deal because, in fact, in our quest to fight Galamsey, one of the alternatives that experts had suggested was that let's change the police force in Galamsey side, because many people had said that they had been bought, they had been corrupt. So we saw the new, Interior Minister making a swap, taking some of the old people who had been stationed in some places out. But we hope it's fought with. In fact, there's a new documentary to that, Forest Under Siege. You want to catch that today. But a data released yesterday by Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa, says that no matter who stands for the NDC in 2028, they would beat the MPP. Why is this a story? It says what? No matter who stands.
Yeah.
And
that's an interesting statement. So.
Emefa, what do you think? I want your point of view.
That's an interesting statement.
It's interesting. It's very daring because it's very early in the day for predictions and polling. But it really means that it depends on a lot on today's government. Because people, for presidency, people really vote for a party before they even want to see who is representing the party. So I don't know, it's quite daring, to be honest.
Very. Well, daring, what gets Musa to say this? We've known some people who have, shown their interest.
Yeah.
Julius Debra, Chief of Staff, last week we brought you a story where he was teary. Well, this time around, he's not going to be teary because he's standing for president.
We are waiting for the official,
many people say that they see he seems to be doing some joggings every, quarter.
It's good to work out.
It's good to work out. Okay, so sorry.
Yeah, you can actually join me every Saturday.
Waiting for him. He makes his bed. Aruna Idrisu, current Minister for Education, people say that he may stand. Jackie, who's this here?
Oh, that's Ato.
Our Finance Minister?
Yes.
There are rumors that he may stand.
Yeah.
Okay, what about who? This wonderful gentleman, that's who?
General Esiedu.
No, General. When you mention General, it's mosquito that follows. You can't say General, Yeah, General Mosquito.
I just wanted to skip that part.
And of course, in the data, we see Professor Nana Jenopoku, who hasn't come out to say anything.
Yeah.
But per Global Info Analytics, if she stands, she decides that, look, I could win this, she's likely to win. And all of these people that we've given to you, we are told that they have possible permeations of who's likely to be the vice president if Julius Debra starts, if Haruna starts. We've heard some rumors about Dr. Zaneto, and people came to...
There are lots,
Kujeto and the others, people doing some pairings, But it got people talking because this is, as Emefa said, way ahead of time. Jackie, what are people saying?
So Wilson says that, but NDC has no candidates and the data is dataing. Interesting. Preko says that NDC doesn't have presidential candidates here, so Musa Dankwa. Joseph says that I think he should relax for now until other parties select their flag bearers. My opinion, please. Last comment here says, me and my household will vote for Bawumia. People expressing their thoughts on this on social media.
Beautiful. What's the next story? There's a story still in the arena of politics where Dr. Bawumia speaking recently at the 7-Day Adventist Church Conference.
Yeah.
They invited the NPP and the ADC to be there. And he was making some comments about Monday and Cat Bebre. As for this, we want you to see the video. We'll bring you the juice after that. Take a listen.
Omo say men can chira me say omo di omo ka cashew ekiafo omo say men can chira say do ketia say omo di omo ka ebro ikwa ekiafo omo say men can chira me say omo di omo ka ɛna soybean ekuafoɔ sɛ menka nkyerɛ ɔmo sɛ ɔmo di ɔmo ka mmamu no so sɛ ɔmo twɛn 24 hour economy no a 133 no ɔmo bɛnya adwuma no ɔmo di ɔmo ka na Ghanafoɔ nyinaa sɛ menka nkyerɛ no sɛ dwomso no a ɔmo de aba biom no ɔmo de yɛn ka bebree
yɛnim sɛ baabi biara ɛne anaa nhyiamu biara wɔ ne botaeɛ enti wopia abɔnten na oyɔnko kɔbo bɔntumi amu no wabo pasaa na woba ɛde w'ani berɛ ɛbɛsi wo yere so wɔ gyaade a Bibi anuma wɔn adi kan ba wɔn pɛsɛ wɔn mo dane asɔre nhyia mu se ɛde yɛ amanyɔsɛm no mo mɔ mpa yɛ na mo mfa wɔn bɔ ne.
Yeah, Jackie.
You know, but this happens this would only happen when you invite two political figures. Like, it's bound to happen. You can never have a service devoid of politics if you have a Siedu and Baumia there or Emefa they like.
Emefa ne Jackie won the meka. Baby. You know. Of course, got people really talking. Jackie, take a couple of that.
Yeah, so Latif says that, hey, this 38%, how can you decide for all of us? Please, do you know the 38%? I don't know. Please, I don't know. So why says that? Neck person Pani Atenga says, Abron yourself was not happy with the message. Last comment here, 2028 elections go sweet.
Why would 2028 elections be sweet? Because it's likely that if Asiedu officially states his bid, he may contest Baumia, and so we're looking forward to all the drama. But Jackie, there's a story that got heads turning. What's the story?
The whole weekend. Well, these twins were born it's a few minutes apart, but they have different dads. Like maybe Emefa and I, we are twins, but we have different fathers.
I don't know, man, test you. But of course, the explanation that experts give to this is that when the egg is released, it stays up to at most 3 days, before, it gets fertilized. So some are, experts are probably projecting that 2 eggs, because they are twins, that when one egg was released, was probably fertilized by a sperm of one man. And in that 3 days window, and so got fertilized by another man, that's to say the woman probably had sex. Can we say sex?
There's a term for it, right? The whole it's a medical term.
It's a big English. Listen to Emefa.
Yes, it is.
Listen to them.
So we looked it up, and it says heteropaternal superfecundation.
Bro, no.
It's your head.
Yeah.
That's the medical term for it. So it's actually very common, and that's not the first. It looks like there are other issues out there, and I learned there's some in Ghana. We have it, so it's quite common. And social media, everyone was expressing their thoughts on it. Now, Akosua says that every second be not hey boy, and Obaja says that at this point, let's clap for mom. She's a hero.
And someone will say,
fear men. In every situation, fear men. Because in every situation.
Man, I am super excited we get to bring you these stories. Of course, if it makes the headlines, if people, get their tongues twiddling about it, we'll bring you. And here's where we wrap. But this is not going to be a super debate.
Heteropaternal superfecundation.
Okay, I leave it to you. You are the expert. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for the trends. My name is Derek. I actually live and I love doing this with this wonderful lady.
Jacqueline and Suma, your boy.
Emefa, take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Jackie and Derek. But we shall not wrap this show without wishing Irama Nkuma Akwa a happy birthday. We love you so much from the entire team at the newsroom. Oh, God, what would our lives be without you? Happy. Just say, Ramo. Happy birthday. Please say a prayer for her and as well. Kenneth Jesse Edubofo. Kenneth Jesse Edubofo's got like that amazing voice. Solid journalist. Nothing you can take away from him. Happy birthday, my dear friend Kenneth. And as well, a happy birthday to my dear sunshine, Mrs. Dinah Mame Abena Okwe. I declare the good Lord's grace and divine presence upon your life and ministry. Enjoy your day, my love. And this is from your honey, Mr. Wisdom Kwe. Happy birthday. But Irama, happy birthday to you. I love you. Oh. And this is how we wrap the bulletin. That's Irama's picture. Gorgeous Irama. That's it. Please buy her jollof today. Well, thank you so much for watching the show. I'm Emefa Akosua-Adeti, and I did this with the Hunter Pili. We do the same time again tomorrow, but I shall see you at 12 o'clock. But please stay for Joy News Desk.
Traveled to Dubai to go find greener pastures. Then I found this one friend of mine who actually helped me. So I was just into this kind of Chinese company thing. Yeah. But it got to a time that the Chinese company work broke down. So I had no choice than to look for another country to go settle so I can find more money to help home. So as they told her, they said stewardship, and they called for a roll call. So which kind of stewardship roll call thing? So we all came out, and a commander came. They said we are waiting for a commander. He came, he was a Ghanaian. We were 54 in numbers, whereby we were being dressed to move to the front line. At that time, we were lucky enough that it was snowing. So the snow actually helped us a little. Yeah, you can choose snow with a mix of sand. With the first battalion, you have to be fit.